One greetings from the high 10 is everyday shenanigans. Thank you all so much for joining me. Hope you all are well. I'm going to bring you a brief update pertaining to the storm and the situation with Quinton Simon and the search. This information is by WTOC 11 News if you need verification for this information. The landfill search for the remains of Quinton Simon will be suspended from Thursday through Sunday due to possible impacts from Nicole. The landfill search began on October 18th. Once again, News 11 is the source, WTOC. So there is a storm brewing, Hurricane Nicole, and it will be making landfall, or has made it, possibly some parts below the bottom states. So let's pray for all the people that live on the bottom states. You've seen what has happened down there on the coast in the recent weeks. So prayers for all affected. Hope everyone can get to safety if need be. If you are watching your local news, please stay tuned to your local news. Ask to follow directions that you need in case you need to leave. Prayers for everybody on the bottom states. I got information today from the same source I've been getting my information from pertaining to this case pertaining to Quinton Simon. As most of you know, as I just repeated, he is still not been recovered, believed to be in the landfill. Leilani Simon, the bio donor, is the primary suspect. The information I got today is that before Quinton Simon was deemed dead by Chief Hadley, Billie Joe Howell was calling around to co-workers and said people before the announcement was made to ask for funeral donations. That is the information I got today. Many people are probably not shocked because you just went on a live stream last night, Billie Joe Howell, screaming and ranting and raving, how would God give you two killers? Or let's just say the words you used were murderers. See, my mod, Kinsley Masters, had already said during the recent live, that she believed that Leilani called Billie Joe before Billie Joe came back. This is just her assumption, and told her that the child had an accident, perhaps. Who knows how she worded it, if she even told her before Billie Joe touched down. But that's my mod's assertion, is that Leilani called and told her. She had to have told her at some point, because this person has notified authorities, and then the local police has consulted with the FBI pertaining to this information, that someone called 2 weeks into this investigation that you, Billie Joe, was scouring around, I believe online, reaching out to said persons, asking for donation monies before the child was deemed deceased. Thank you, Don. It was obvious she knew something, because she was the first to go to the news, she and her husband, speaking negatively about her daughter, and then she changed, she turned up. So as I told A Balance last night during my lengthy live, sorry it was so long, that it was obvious she knew something. I don't know the date that she actually found out. It's neither here nor there, but it is obvious that she knew at some point before Hadley announced to the world that the child was dead and that Leilani is the prime suspect. And I want to say this directly to the people who've been making comments in other people's chats pertaining to the petition. You damn right we put that petition up. For the bobblehead that says, if a crime was committed. Well, a crime must be committed, because why are we up here talking about a dead kid? He hasn't surfaced. He hasn't banged on anybody's door to say, hey, look at me, I'm alive. It's been 5 weeks and the child has not surfaced. So you're entitled to think whatever you want, and you can continue to chatter in people's chats talking buffoonery about a dead baby. He's dead. They believe he's dead. That's good enough for me. That's good enough for me. You're entitled to believe whatever you want to believe. But the child has not surfaced, and 2 other children are in foster care. So that should tell you something as well. And the fact that Billie Joe has been babbling and fake crying on different lives to get attention showed me everything I needed to know without anyone coming to me to give me information pertaining to this case. You never cared for your children. It's the reason why you lost custody of your own children. And then your children begat children. And one of those children who begat a child murdered the child. I don't believe in accidents. I don't believe in all that conspiracy talk because we were not there. And the fact that you would throw a child away would lead me to believe that you killed your child deliberately. If a child had an accident, if an adult has an accident, you don't throw them away in the trash can. People get hit by cars. They fall off of scaffolds. They run out into traffic. Do people just scoop them up and throw them in the dumpster? No, they do not. And the fact, as someone said in the chat earlier, the first thing you could come up with after your pool was searched was asking people, do they know about a pool repair person? Who gives a damn about a pool and somebody is searching for a missing child that stayed in your house? And now you go to YouTube crying and moaning to people, putting on the best actress performance of a lifetime, and these sick people are rallying right in behind you as if it's a joke. You never cared for your own children. So how could your children grow up and care? It's on change.org. If you want to make a change in this life of this child and the other children, please go to change.org. Just type in Quinton Simon. It will come up. It will be a picture of the landfill and the baby's picture sitting to the right of the screen. All your actions show you never cared about the child. Your actions, your daughter's actions. So you can continue to cry on YouTube and pretend that you're bubbling and babbling and waterfowl, waterworks. I'm not impressed. I've seen your kind before. I've seen it 1,000 times. People crying in front of the camera when their children were missing, when all along the children were dead by the person standing there crying in the camera. And you may not have made the blow to the head, suffocated the baby, stuffed the baby in a tarp or a blanket or tote, but you were responsible for the children, Billie Joe Howell. And it is time for you to stop talking to people and stand up and take responsibility for what you did. You failed the children. Thank you, sweetheart. You all shown in the beginning of this story that you never cared for the children. You never rallied for the children. You don't even speak of the children. And I'm going to go ahead and correct myself. You did speak one time of the siblings in the live stream on that Queen OG's wire. But the rest was all about you. Me, I. I'm important. Forget about that dead baby. I'm important. I've got bills to pay. I've got to keep a house. I. No we, no them, no us, but I. You all are buffoons to engage in this behavior with Leilani and Billie Joe Howell. And it's not about reasonable doubt, because law enforcement is not going to ask the FBI to aid into an investigation. Deem the mother as the suspect, prime suspect. Call in 40 agents from around the United States on a hunch, on a rumor, on gossip, on a Facebook post. Excuse me for one just second. I need somebody to hit the link. I'm not going to sit up here and talk the whole time. I'll be right back. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for joining me. The link is in the chat if you'd like to give your opinion pertaining to the latest information. 233 viewing. Thank you for your time. I want to thank all those who follow my content, believe in what I do up here. There are times I get a little rowdy. I will have a potty mouth because I'm passionate about what I talk about. You are entitled to agree, disagree. I do not care. But I'm never going to aid anybody that abuses children, animals, adults, or the elderly. All life matters. And if you're the type of human that you believe in aiding baby killers, enablers of baby killers, people who abuse children, people who sit idly by and don't say anything, that is your choice. I don't rock that way. Excuse me. A little bit out of breath. I had to step out for a second. Thank you so much. Thank you, Jamie. This is to be expected. Some of you are probably shocked, but I am never shocked by anything that comes in the realm of true crime because, as I've told you, you don't know people. You don't know what they're saying and doing before you even heard of the crime. And as Mike King said on Court TV, what you should be asking yourself is what you have not heard, what you have not seen. See, those things matter, the things that you do not hear, such as pleading for the child day one. Please help me find my child. My child is almost 2 years old. He's this tall. He has this color eyes, this color hair. I last saw him in the playpen at this time. You heard nothing. All you heard was commentary coming from a babysitter. Thank you so much for coming up here. Amen. Thank you so much. Lisa Frazier, where are you calling me from?
Alabama.
Alabama. Okay, thank you. Child of God is up here from Florida. Lisa, go ahead. What do you have to say about the news?
Hey, Queen.
Thank you, UK.
They all need a little bit of mental health. I have a degree in mental health. They all.
Hello, Jennifer.
And mentioning suicide. And
well, let's just stick with what I just said. No,
you can ask me, you know, my situation.
Because when we start talking, everybody tends to go way out left. I want to stick with the subject first, and then you can give your opinion about everything else.
All right.
What do you think about her calling, asking people for help before the child was even announced dead?
I think it's disgusting, sick, and I think they might need some sort of help, in my humble opinion.
Well, Lisa, let's start here. The one that did the killing, she's beyond help.
Okay, well, I have a similar situation. I have a daughter. Her grandchildren are under my name, under my care. Similar situation, but she would never live in the house with me, ever, ever, not ever. She would hope that the police get her before she hurt my grandchildren.
Linda Wayman thinks that Leilani was trying to get even with her mother for her out. What do you think about that comment?
I'm sorry, I had a call. Can you repeat, please?
Do you need to take your call and I just let you come back?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Someone in the chat says she felt that Leilani was trying to get back at her mother for evicting her and taking her to court for child support. Linda, please.
This call keeps coming in, but I want to continue with you. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. This is the first time I got to call in. Please ask the question again. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Take your call, Lisa. I'm not going anywhere.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay. You're welcome. Bye-bye. Okay, child of God, what do you think about the information that I've relayed in this video?
Yes, Queen. Just when you think things can't get any worse or sad or pathetic, they do. These people we cannot measure these people with a yardstick of an average person. This is why we cannot wrap our brain around what's going on. Okay, this is not something that Billie Joe woke up overnight and she turned like this, or her children turned out like this.
That's the point I've been trying to make to people who are a little slow My thing is, I'm just different. I'm just wired different. And as I tell people, you're wired depending on how you were raised, how you were taught, what you saw growing
Absolutely.
up. Those things form your identity. Those things make you who
Absolutely.
you are. I'm very intuitive. I'm
Yes, you
very
are.
intuitive because I grew up in the city. I didn't have a choice.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was a part of survival. I had to watch, look over my shoulder, walking down the
Yes.
street, going to school. It's all I know.
Yes.
And even though
But
I moved to the South and became lax as a younger person, I still carried those ways with me. Even if I
absolutely.
moved here to the South, I'm still the same. I'm leery of a car that pulls up. I'm leery if you're sitting in your
Yes.
car too long. I'm leery if you're walking around the building. I want to know what the fuck you're doing.
Exactly. Exactly. So for us to analyze and chop up, why would they say this? Why would they say we can never truly understand unless you are made of that same ilk.
Yes,
You see, you can spot one if you are one.
exactly.
You know what I mean? So
Yes. And a
they
lot of
don't have.
people can't. And I tell myself to try not to be, so overbearing and narcissistic by saying, well, why don't you know? You should know. But I have to tell
Right.
myself there are many people who never grew up in the street. They have never been
Exactly.
around street people. They've never dealt with people who swindle, hustle for a living. They don't know that life. And I've always said that to people who have never lived that type of life. Be thankful that you didn't live
That
that life.
you
Be
didn't. Yeah.
thankful nobody exposed that to you. Be thankful you don't live around
Mm,
people that are banging people over the head and
yeah.
breaking in their houses and stealing from them. Because no matter who you are, whether you're rich, poor, middle class, you can
Hmm.
always come across a crime, be implicated in a crime, know somebody that was in a crime, committed a crime, accused of a crime, because it's just really illogical to be in a world and not know of something that went bump in the night. But some
Exactly.
people have never
Exactly.
been around it continuously.
You know what it's like? It's like sometimes if we say something and right after we say it, we cringe and go, oh, I wish I didn't say that. That didn't come out right. I wish I didn't say it. You don't do it next time. These people
Mm-hmm.
keep doing it and doing it. They don't have that measure of, oh, no, no, no. Like, God forbid, the average person who has a missing child, a grandchild,
Mm-hmm.
would not put a poster of a YouTuber.
Yeah,
They
I
would
know.
put, you see what I
But
mean?
she
So,
can't, but in her sick head, and she knows what she's doing, she wants to let the world know this is my friend. She supported me. So what about the lady that was sitting beside you in the live last night? Is she not your friend? You don't have her face up on a banner.
and that's all well and fine. If you believe that that person who has that channel is a help to you, fine. But keep it behind closed doors. To the
Yeah,
outside
that's
world,
what somebody else said. Why, if you were a real
yes,
friend, share, you would have never repeated her conversations on your live, and you would have never admitted to the public that you were talking to Billie Joe Howell. But see, you both are self-serving, and you both want it out there, the lies that you're spinning. She wants to come and holler on your channel and other channels to be heard, to get to sway the jury, and you want the views and the likes and the sympathy that you're
absolutely.
empathy and that you sympathize with the grandmother, but you
Mm,
refuse to own that this lady had custody of the children. So what you have to ask yourself is this: when she was moaning and groaning last night on somebody's live stream, going on and on about wanting the little boy back and this and that, if
mm,
something had happened to Leilani, let's say she went full-fledged into drugs, started running the street, prostituting,
mm.
who was going to be there to take care of the children? And please don't say Diana McCarter.
No, no, I would never. No,
Thank you,
no.
Star.
You know,
Thank you, Lisa.
Queen, when I was growing up, my mother used to always tell me the people that you choose to be in your life are an extension of you.
Mm-hmm.
You will attract what you are.
Yeah.
You
You
know what
believe
I
that?
mean?
You don't think good people attract the seedy people?
No, 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 I don't. I no.
Oh, come on
I
now.
think no, no.
Come on
I
now,
you
child of
no,
God. You
no,
can't say you're a child of God and you don't
no, no,
believe
no.
that people don't attract the wrong type of
No,
people.
no, that's not what I'm saying. What I said is, of course, sometimes you, before you know it, you're in a situation where, oh my God, how did this even happen? I need to detach myself.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely, we can.
Mm-hmm.
But we know we have that little voice inside us that says, you know what, this is not a good situation for me. This person doesn't want my help. They're pretty much happy just the way they are. I need to pull out because I will not make a difference in this person's
But a lot
life.
of people won't. That's why we have the problems that we have, because people won't cut people off. They think that, well, if they're a Christian, this isn't Christian-like. God told me not to hate. Nobody said you had to hate them, but God didn't tell you to deal with them either.
It's not about hate.
No, it's not about hate.
It's not about hate. It's about surrounding yourself with peace,
Self-preservation.
self-preservation, not to bring danger into your home for the sake of children or your spouse or your extended family. Everybody has that need, that primal need to preserve what's around them. But when this goes askew and you let the devil in your house, you know, I have a perfect analogy. One time I had my computer had crashed, and I called the people that help you fix them, and I said to them, but I have spyware, I have all that, this shouldn't have happened. And he said to me, did you open the door? The spyware can only warn you, but if you open that door, then you are responsible for what comes in.
It's all, that's why I'm over the computer situation. I'm over all of this. I was just telling my neighbor earlier when I was coming in, I got home, and I told him, I said, I'm just so sick of this, all of this app stuff, internet stuff, you go into, messes your phone up, locks up phones. I've had enough of dealing with it. I don't care to really be in any more apps, download any more apps, because my storage is very, very low, because I'm going to have to upgrade to another, phone. But besides that, it's just a headache. And when you start going in apps and starting to shut phones down and make the phone blink and blink on, it's like, you know what? I'd rather go back to the days of the landline, because what I have to tell myself is I lived a good life when there was no internet. I lived a good life when there was no apps, when there was no, TV apps and Roku TV. I had nice TV. I had nice furniture. I had nice clothes. I lived just as good as I did before 20, 30 years ago.
You are so correct. You're so correct. We let ourselves... You have a choice to do good or to do evil. Everybody has that choice. And just because you come across somebody who doesn't have it together, of course, you try to help, but some people don't want the help. They don't want it. And you can scream until you're blue in the face. They do not want it. So they will kick it back to you and tell you to leave them alone. So you're barking up the wrong tree. You're wasting breath at that point.
But a lot of people can't tell themselves that, because we all done it. I've done it. You keep going back in, trying to befriend the people, trying to talk to them, and you just banging your head against the wall. And they say that's insanity, doing the same thing and expecting a different result.
Exactly.
So what do you think now? What do you think now? You think she's going to be kind of perturbed? Like, where did she get that information?
Of course, because it's never an insight into your own soul. It's always them. They said, they made me mad. They made me do this. Instead of looking and say, what could I do? That's difficult. Introspection is very difficult.
It is hard. So just to own that, hey, you made a not so good decision.
Right.
Because we all do it. Sometimes you think you might be saying something to somebody that's and you feel like they wronged you or spited you, but next thing you know, you might be staring down the barrel of a gun or an ice pick or a knife. You just don't know how things are going to turn out.
Exactly. No good deed goes unpunished. Absolutely. Some of us are sympathetic and empathetic. Sometimes it's a good trait, but sometimes it's a horrible trait. Because people take kindness for weakness. Not all.
Hello, podcast. How are you doing? Thank you for joining me.
Not all, but a lot of people can look at you and say, "Oh, that person's easy." I'm
not saying she knew before she got home. Let me make this clear in the live. I said somebody went and told authorities that before Chief Hadley pronounced Quinton Simon dead, Billie Joel was soliciting workers and people for funeral donations.
That's incredible.
Listen, before the child was deemed dead, the person came forward 2 weeks into the investigation and alerted authorities, which alerted the FBI. That is the information I'm bringing to you that was told to me today.
That's unbelievable.
She was asking for funeral donations before the child was told to be dead via the news. Thank you all for joining me. Come back up, Barb. I saw you.
I can't
Please
wrap
sign
my
the
brain
petition.
around it.
I'm going to cut you off. Please sign the petition. Please sign the petition, everybody. If you feel that these people need to be responsible for the money, they do need to pay the money back because Chatham County is not a wealthy county, obviously. They had to go borrow the money, which should tell you they didn't have the money for this investigation. And what you also have to count is that there will also be other people missing. There have been other Black children missing since I started talking about Quinton Simon. There will be somebody else, white, green, red. They need the same justice. They need their cases investigated as well. This county does not have the money to do extensive investigations.
You know, Queen, I think in the long run, if they cannot find the remains of this baby, I think that there's enough pressure for them to proceed with some sort of an arrest.
Turn your background down, Barb. Turn your background down, Barb.
Okay.
Where you calling from, Barb?
From Waukesha, Wisconsin.
Wisconsin, how you doing?
Good. I just got done with the parade.
Wait a minute, Waukesha? Oh my gosh, that's where the incident took place.
It is.
I'm gonna mute you, child of God, just a second, okay?
Yes.
Okay. Barb, what do you think about the information that I have revealed to this network and the viewing audience? Thank you for joining me. Turn your TV down, baby.
Okay, hang on 1 second.
You're trying to hear yourself. You're going to have to turn that down, baby.
I'm trying. Hang on.
Okay, that's fine.
Can you hear me better?
Yeah, I just can't because I hear myself playing off your TV.
Okay.
Okay. What do you think about the information that she asked for money before the child was deemed pronounced dead? I still hear you.
Okay. Hang on. I'm not good at this stuff.
No, just don't have nothing playing. No radio, no TVs, all muted.
Okay.
No, just don't have nothing playing. No radio.
How's that better?
Okay, go ahead.
Well, it doesn't surprise me.
Okay.
And I'm sure that the YouTube host that is her suspect whisperer is pretty aware of that.
Yeah.
Yep. And
while we're bragging, we know what happened. Do you really want the world to know that you know what happened allegedly?
What's that?
I'm saying the person who's been rallying for Billie Joe telling the viewing audience she knows what happened. Well, if you know what happened, did you tell authorities?
No. She can deny that she knows.
She can't deny it if you just went and told the viewing audience that you know.
Right, but she can deny what she knows.
Oh, yeah, I understand that. Because my thing is, that's somebody else's version, which led to all this he said, she said in the first place. And I told people, stop listening to that stuff because you don't know what happened.
Well, it evolved from what she knew at first. It evolved. She went from don't take the rap for your no man. That's what she said.
Mm-hmm.
She said, don't take promise me you won't. That's what she said. And then it went from the babysitter, for what reason, I don't know. And then it went from Danny was having a relationship with a 15-year-old babysitter. I wrote them all down. I have them all. And then, I don't know, it went from, I don't know, from crazy stuff. But notice none of it was any of them,
Well, like I told people, in the beginning of this story, everybody was running wild, repeating all this he said, she said. I don't get into that because if I don't hear it from law enforcement, it means nothing. You all have changed the narrative of baby Quinton from, as you said, first it was Bubba, then he wandered off.
Mm-hmm.
Then it was somebody else took him. Then it was Miss McCarter. Okay. Right. Then they went to share. Here comes all these theories of this one, that one, baby daddy. Which one is it?
It's confusion.
It can't be all of them.
It's confusion,
April, you're welcome to come up and hit the link. Hit the link in the chat if you all want to give your opinion pertaining to this information. Thank you for joining me.
Like she can confuse her subs, but I know she can't confuse you.
No, I'm not gullible. I've been around. I don't have to tell where I've been and seen. I think you should know from listening to me. I've been around all kinds of people. there ain't too much you can get by with me. If I give you something or do something for you, it's because I chose to. It ain't because you think you got over.
Right. And I know, like you said, start from the beginning, right from the beginning. The first news conference.
Yeah.
You know, you can rag on those law enforcement all you want.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I know what I heard.
Yeah.
Okay. I know where he is. They know where he is.
Yes, Princess, they need to stop this. Tell that you know the baby's in there. You put the baby in the dumpster, which went to the landfill. And that way they can just say, well, we've exhausted our measures. We're tired of digging. And we've got a confession. Because this is a waste of these people's time. People can get sick out there in that landfill, inhaling all that stuff. It's cruel to the people that's working. It's bad enough that a child died, but now it's cruel to the people who have come out to do the work, the dirty work.
But remember, if they do that, what happens?
Yeah.
The money stops.
What money? They already got the money, sweetheart.
No, I mean making money.
Who are you speaking of?
The family.
Well, they weren't supposed to be asking for the money, remember?
Well, yeah. In the world where we love our children and don't throw them in garbage cans, yeah. Right? In a world where we love our children.
Well, you don't throw anybody. People have accidents every day. People fall down. It's just like right now, you go in the grocery store. Somebody fell in aisle 5. Do you go pick him or her up and throw them in the dumpster?
I wouldn't do that to my dog.
Okay.
You know?
Okay, that's my point. The dog gets hit by a car. He's whimpering, but he's still alive. Do you then go throw him into the dumpster?
Right.
That's
right. And a person who's, you know, God-fearing, loving person, we can't even fathom it, you know, let alone defend it like Cher does, you know? I mean, come on. It's not normal. This shit isn't normal.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about, you know? I mean, if you're in a bind like that and, you know, like you said, you know, you have a bad judgment, you say, oh my God, what did I do? Yeah. Okay, you go home and you pray and you say, what do I do? And you go to your mother and you say, Mom, you know, this happened. What do I do? Yeah. And a normal mother would say, come here. Let's talk about it. Let's go to the police. And say, I made a mistake, you know? Yeah. No, let's make this big freaking thing called Cher. What?
Well, I don't know if you listened at these other channels lives last night, but I have it on my channel. The person has put the video on private, but it's too late. I have it on my channel. Go free. Okay, listen to the content.
Together, you and me.
The point is, you said what you said. God, why did you give me 2 murderers? That's what you said, Billie Joe Howell, because you knew they cut from your womb, your umbilical cord.
And make excuses.
Here.
And you cover for them.
And then those children could have probably been better off had they had a better upbringing. Who's to say? We won't know now.
Right. And could go to your mother and say, Mom, I screwed up, Mom. You know, I mean, I know my kids could come to me. God forbid something would happen.
Gypsy. I have a 5-hour live from last night. It is very winded, but during that live, about 2 hours or so before you get to the ending, you will hear Billie Joe on a Queen OG's live say, God, why did you give me 2 murderers? She is acknowledging that, she's acknowledging that both children have killed.
And someone, I'm not sure, I don't know who these people are. I only know who you are. That's all that matters. So one of them says to them, oh, no, one was an accident. And I thought, which one is she talking about? Well,
the first one, that was not an accident.
No, but she said it was.
But see, this is what happens when people want to interfere in shit that they don't know nothing what they're talking about. You weren't there. He's got a lengthy prison sentence. That should tell you they have information that they set the man up and robbed him and murdered him. Yes. So it is first-degree murder.
Yeah, if you murder someone during a robbery, that is usually a capital offense. I don't know how we got out of that, but who is a YouTube creator to say to someone, oh no, that's an accident. What? You should not even be on YouTube for saying that.
Well, we know it's not an accident. You don't lure somebody to their death and say it's an accident. You wouldn't be in prison if 12 members thought you accidentally killed your friend.
Yeah. So is that going to make whatever her name, the grandmother, I'm not even going to say her name, the grandmother feel better? Because a YouTube creator said, no, that's an accident, honey. What? I would say, shut up. You don't know.
These people are evilly yoked. That's why they make up excuses. Only a fool would sit up here and make up excuses when the person stood trial for murder, for killing a person deliberately and robbing them. And now here comes this issue with a dead baby. Now you want to go like, oh, well, that first murder, it ain't nothing either.
What about the family?
Go tell that to their family. Well, go tell that to their family.
The guy, well, I don't know the details of the murder, but I think he was like a clerk or something at a store, wasn't he?
I don't remember. I didn't go into the article. I just had somebody come in the chat that's daughter was related to the story, and I didn't need to go investigate. I just used my better half. Nobody gave you no 40 years because you fell into somebody with a knife or a gun.
Yeah, he was a store clerk, I'm pretty sure. He was working. So this innocent man who's working gets murdered at work, right? So this wannabe important person, YouTube person, is saying, no, it's an accident. What about that family who lost a family member? Forget about you, Yeah. We need cash.
But this goes to show you the mentality of the family.
Right. And the YouTube
You haven't taught your kids anything.
Right. And the YouTube creators you are aligning with. And then blaming YouTube. People that are listening to YouTube, you're blaming them. It's all our fault that your family are murderers, basically.
Well, she knows what happened to the child, UK. She already knows that the child was dead. That's the point of this live.
She admitted it, and she admitted it to the father, and then they dirty deleted the text after the texts were revealed. And I think the grandmother didn't like that. It was revealed. They took them away. I'm sure somebody has screenshots of them somewhere, but they're nowhere to be found. But she admitted it. She had actually admitted it.
Okay.
I mean, come on.
Okay. I'm going to let Kinsley speak. Kinsley?
Yes.
Welcome to the jungle.
Do I need a drink first?
We're the good jungle, though.
Ooh. Okay, I'm unmuting you, child of God.
It's a hot mess. I don't know if she just doesn't realize by now, or if she's just stupid, or if it's both.
I don't make any excuses for her. Some of you can. I don't rock like that. I don't make any excuses for mental illness and none of that type of stuff. I don't rock with none of that because everything she's doing is meticulous.
You don't.
And when you look at her past behavior, that all was meticulous. You're going on live stream saying you changed. How could you have changed when you already knew the child was dead?
People don't reach out to law enforcement for no reason, especially something like that.
Kristen was telling you, Barb. Yeah, they lured him into the woods and robbed him. I don't think it was at no store.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead, Kinsley.
He's dead. That's basically.
Yeah, that's it. It was premeditated. We'll go there.
Okay.
Go ahead, Kinsley.
Oh God, you're making me lose my damn train of thought. People that
write it down, damn it. Sometimes you gotta take notes.
I did.
People that have any sort of human decency, right? That weighs on them. Mm-hmm. Whoever made that call, what they heard or seen did not resonate. You know what I mean? It didn't sit well with them. Mm-hmm. Why are you asking for money for a funeral to a baby that hasn't even been declared dead? You can't come onto a live, because I'm sure someone's going to make a live about it and talk about how we don't know what the hell we're talking about. Trust and believe.
I don't care what people think Angela knows.
We know.
Let me make that clear. I am the same person I am when I shut this computer off. The same. I don't need her.
Truth.
It would not bother me none what you think about what everyday shenanigans is saying up here. If I wanted to make up fabrications pertaining to these people, I could go live every day just making up stuff. I could go live every day spinning webs, but I don't do that. You're entitled to believe what you want to believe.
You go on a live stream and you literally said something that's probably going to seal your fate very soon. You don't claim your child is a murderer if your child is not a murderer. That is not a phrase that you hypothetically say ever, not ever. I would never say that if that is not the truth. You do not hypothetically say anything of that nature.
No, you say they're a good person.
Right?
You know, you say they're a good father or a good mother or a good kid, right? You don't say they're a murderer.
How did I have 2 murderers?
That's terrible.
I think
this is what everybody needs to ask is one question, because nobody's mentioned this last night or in this live right now, and I'm coming up 43 minutes into this live. Where is Leilani while you're spilling your guts on live streams last night?
Making Quinton's.
Yeah. True.
No, I'm gonna ask you again. Where is Leilani while you're going live stream?
I don't think she's home, and I still have.
While you're going live, because I know you're not crazy enough to now throw her under the bus live for live, and she's still sleeping in the house.
That's a good question. She thinks she's in custody?
No.
They make a press conference about that.
She's not
okay.
No, I'm sure the police know where she is. You know what, Queen? I think one way or another, if they don't find the baby's body.
April, you think she's where? April, what did you say? Yeah, well, your mama's a clown. How about that?
I don't understand. How do people rock with hard? I mean, some of these people are going hardcore for this woman, and you don't.
She's not in no rehab.
You don't even know this bitch.
I know, that's crazy.
She made these sick kids because she's just as sick. It's nothing but a house of horrors, a house of misfits.
Lockdown says she's in the house.
I don't give a fuck where she's at.
Okay, kids. Really but I'm just saying, you're still talking about her.
Because she's a dumb broad. I mean, that's the only reason that we can chop it up.
Who goes back to a house knowing you just talked about somebody on the live, and what fool would stay in the house? I wouldn't stay there talking about me on no damn live.
Where do you think she is, Queen? Where do you think she is?
I don't know, but I'm just speaking me personally. You're not going to sit up there and tell people that I'm a murderer and I'm going to stay in your house.
All right.
Thank you, Francis.
I agree. It's weird. It's just.
But we're talking about 2 idiots, man. I mean, these people just they don't have any common sense. None.
She could have been drinking too when she said that.
You know, other kids are gone.
I have a question.
A child of God.
You know,
I have a question though. No. Okay, here's what I don't know YouTube like you do, Queen, but okay, I keep seeing these channels and they keep throwing stuff out about other creators, like, you know, the ones that were in the protests. I won't give names, right? About like their past and right, okay, but none of them are even talking about like those people down there that did this. You know, it's like, okay, we all know what they did wasn't that good, right? It was wrong. We all know that. We saw it with our own eyes. They shouldn't be yelling. They shouldn't be screaming. It's wrong. Okay, why are you keep streaming it all day long for us to see? Why aren't you talking about?
Because there's people who like that type of entertainment, honey.
That I think that's not even entertaining, though.
To you.
I know.
Right.
I guess. Right. I guess. I don't know. I'm
There's
weird.
people who get a thrill by spreading it around. They're live. They're live. They're live.
Yeah.
You know, This is a baby version of the Amityville Horror. Look at the house from the side view. That's a baby version of the Amityville Horror house. And like you said, how long can you stand out there and keep filming the same house and look at all the cars going by, honking, yelling, screaming. People got their kids there, which is the stupidest thing I've ever heard of, but that's their business. I don't get entertained by looking at you stand out there hooping and hollering. Somebody else may like it, but I don't.
Yeah. Sending clowns down there and crackheads, and come on, she was a crackhead. And then she even, was holding a sign with someone else's YouTube channel on it. I'm like, There's a dead baby in a dumpster. You know, what about the baby? You know, and I don't care what anybody says. The other creator with her face out there doesn't care about that baby. She can act like it all day long. I'm a mother, and I can tell she doesn't care about that baby. And she doesn't care. You know that, Queen. I know that. You know, when she says, just say justice for Quinton, you have to tell someone that to say it?
Exactly.
You have to prompt a mother of a missing baby and a grandmother to say it. Don't say it.
I'm not stealing anything. It's fair use.
You know,
listen, hold on. Let me address you in the chat. You in the wrong playhouse, baby.
Yeah.
I don't have to steal anything because it's fair use.
Cash App gang.
Now, if they got a problem with it, all they can do is strike me for playing their content.
Yeah.
But you worried about the wrong damn thing.
Right.
Mm-hmm. You should be worried about going to find Quinton. How about that? Go to the Cash App gang and tell them to start looking for Quinton and talking about Quinton, not her mother and her grandmother who's wailing for freaking clicks and views. We can see. We know. We're not stupid. We saw Summer. We saw the Summer.
That chick was wasted last night.
That's what I said too.
She was trying to force herself to cry.
I'm not saying she didn't cry. I'm not going to say that. You can cry out of guilt.
Yes, you can cry for yourself, but yes. I still think she was on something.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she was wasted.
You can be high and cry because you're guilty.
Right.
And I'm not saying that she's not heartbroken. She should be. You know?
She's heartbroken.
You know, if I was the grandmother or the mother of a missing child, I wouldn't be able to get out of bed. I would say them just give me medicine to sleep 24/7 because the pain would be too much. I couldn't get out of bed. I know I could.
When you don't hear one person say,
somebody said when he was asked about searching, April says the response was, "We can't search the landfill."
So
if that was in the beginning, was
you
that
can still make flyers?
That's before we even knew about the landfill. I wonder.
And that money, I guarantee you, that banner cost at least $500. I don't care who made it, whose idea was, whatever. Okay, it costs money. There's kids out there who are abused and beaten and starving. You could have said, Cher could have said, you know what?
Yes, Robin.
Don't make that poster. Take that money and give it to a shelter or missing children. No, she wanted her face and her husband.
Well, I don't care about her being under the influence. That doesn't mean anything to me.
Right.
She shouldn't be. You've been orchestrating this storyline for a couple of weeks now, so the drugs don't have anything to do with it, in my opinion. Okay, if she's under the influence, she still has a missing child. What if something happens and they need her, and she's all wasted? What good is she?
Yeah.
Right? You're all wasted. Excuse me, officer. I'm too fucked up to come and. Excuse me. Sorry. I'm too effed up to come and help. It doesn't make sense. That's why none of it makes sense.
You know, I have not lost hope that there is going to be an arrest because I think they have a plan B. Yep. I really do. I don't care if it was an accident. I don't care if it was done. I don't care. I think they have a plan B. Having the child would be probably increase their chances of a conviction or a plea. But you know what? They have a plan B. And I said it before. I would not be surprised if Danny was their ace in the hole. I think he helped her cover it up because he was scared. You know, there was probably drugs in the house. I don't know if they both had an arrest record. In their limited capacity of thinking, they probably said, oh, we got to cover this up. But I think that that's their ace in the hole. We have not heard hide nor hear from him. Nothing.
Yep.
He got the hell out of Dodge, man. He knew better. I think he knew what Billie Joe was capable of, and that is why he bailed.
Very possible.
And then,
possible.
You know what, how like in the beginning when they had this family advocate, I'm not going to say her name. I'm not going to give her any time, but you know, the way she was just throwing things out.
I got to step away for a minute.
And the way she was just like throwing things out there, it was like, okay, you only known her for, I don't know, 3 weeks and you're that family friend. that means someone was just telling her stuff to throw out there.
Priorities. Their priorities are upside down.
You know, like, she threw out a theory that the father, Danny, was having a relationship with a 15-year-old babysitter's daughter, the daughter.
But we have to
And-
remember, she's going to say that because she's a bitter bitch.
Well, yeah,
So
she's greedy.
I think she's just going to start making up stuff to throw him under the bus. The best thing that he did is leave.
I agree.
And he has said nothing. I most
agree.
definitely think he's guilty of something. I don't know
Yes.
what. Whether
Right.
it's cover up,
Yes.
he knew, he participated. But the best thing that he has done so far was to keep his mouth completely shut.
Yeah, they
He
can
has
get him
said
for
nothing.
like accessory
Yeah.
after the fact
Yeah.
or
Maybe
something.
they
But
could, plead him down to something lesser. But
Right.
the first one to talk gets the better deal. And
Yep.
I really believe he knows something, and at the right time, it will come out. It
and
will
also
come out.
this, she keeps giving him her excuses that she had to work. Okay, she had to work in Illinois. Why? Why did she have to work in Illinois?
I'm not sure if she's like the union just sends
Right.
them like wherever they get jobs or
Then
what
she needed to
have
get a
you.
different job. She needed to get a different job then.
Well, you just don't go sign up to take on two little toddlers and then bail.
Especially if
don't
you're
do
the
that.
guardian, especially if you have custody.
Never.
And they kept saying, Danny just left the baby. In the beginning, it was said that he wasn't the biological father of the baby, the little one. There was some
really?
DNA testing. Yeah, so
Nothing would ever
that's what-
surprise me.
Yeah, right.
nothing,
So-
exactly.
and
I
so
know.
if she could leave when the babies were with her and work, why can't she leave now? I mean, she doesn't have the kids. She doesn't have.
I think she's afraid. I think that I don't think like she's afraid physically. I think she's afraid that she ain't gonna be able to protect herself verbally because
Yeah.
she knows that most people out here that know about this, it don't sit well with them.
But
No,
Kinston, she may not even have a job anymore. A lot of employers will tell you, no, you come with too much baggage. We can't risk having
Yeah, but you have to remember, she's backed by the union.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
So when
Right.
you're backed by the union, you're on a whole nother page, and it's a big process to get you out
Yes.
the door. It's very possible that they're paying her very, very minimally. I'm not sure. I'm just hypothetically saying.
like a leave or
Because at
something.
the end of the day, she is going to have money to survive or to help her husband with the household. Maybe he can afford it all. I don't know, but I'm just saying. Or maybe she's getting a lot of money, being on these two heifer channels.
Yeah.
Right. She's got it. She has a Cash App.
Unbelievable. That would be the last thing on my mind.
Here's what I think is funny, that this change.org petition is created and they want to get up and
why would some other guy be a person of interest? Come on, you guys, please stop this.
I know.
They can get up and they can slander and talk bad about it. But if you go in and you read all the comments that of the people that signed that petition, 700 people at this very moment agree with it.
Yep.
Wow.
Just go to court. Go to court.
Priya says BJ announced that Quinton was in the landfill before Ellie announced it, saying her daughter did it and don't remember.
Yep.
How
And just go to court TV and read those comments.
Unbelievable.
There's no, I say out of I don't know how many, couple thousand comments.
Please go to change.org and sign the petition, please. If you believe these two should pay the money back to Chatham County, hopefully they will get wind of this petition.
Didn't Jesse Smollett have to?
Since people think it's not a big deal.
Jesse Smollett had to pay back, didn't he?
Well, that's the reason why I mentioned that in my live yesterday.
Yep, he had to pay back for a false report or whatever it was. Why shouldn't they? Everybody should if they do that, I think.
Well, I'm very
police have better things to do than ride around town looking for people that don't exist.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
You
And I
saying
think
somebody did something to me, they did something to me. Well, they're going out there looking for that.
Just like Casey Anthony took the police all over.
Autumn.
Yep. And then the protesters, how much time did they? I'm not saying that I'm for or against, but they took time away too. I think, I think they took time away from the
Put the link down in the chat, kids, if you don't mind, for the change.org, please.
I mean, it's a whole mess, and it shouldn't be. You should be able to go to your mother and say, "Mom, I screwed up, Mom."
And you know what's
I don't know, Lulu.
too? That we have not heard anything from the stepfather. Not once.
Oh, we did. We did.
We did?
He said she's a liar. In that interview, he said she lies. She lies all the time.
That initial interview, that very first one?
Yep, that was enough for me.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying that he hasn't been making appearances like his wife.
No,
maybe somebody has to work, everybody.
Yeah.
Somebody has to work. They have bills to pay.
Or he just wants to wash his hands.
Can't shut up and be on YouTube all damn day.
Or maybe
serious. I don't have to like these people, but you got to pay bills. You got to live.
Yep.
So this money has to be coming in somewhere.
Maybe he feels guilty.
That's why she was talking around in circles last night about selling stuff and doing this, and I really don't have to say, and I ain't going to say, Billie Joe, we know you have bills to pay. That's why you're selling this and selling that. But before October 5th, you were not considering selling anything. I doubt it.
Right.
Yeah. Right. She's just, drug addicts are drug addicts. Whether your kids are missing or not, there's a pattern.
Liar. Yeah, they're patterns, exactly.
That was in my live last night about Casey Anthony. I did a 3-part live pertaining to Casey Anthony now speaking. Be a 3-part documentary airing on Peacock. I
know.
Ezekiel Harry, 2-year-old black boy thrown in a duffel bag in a dumpster down in Louisiana back in the summer. His mother and the boyfriend may be facing the death penalty. That's my 3-part live from last night. It is a 5-hour live. Chop it up the best that you can. Yes. Thank you.
I saw the Ezekiel story. Another mess. Another sad, helpless baby, literally thrown away like trash.
Those children are not going back with anybody. They went to court. Remember, don't you think the family would tell you they have the children?
Yeah. There's no way. Especially last night after the way she acted. That was my first thought was, you are not thinking of getting those kids back after that. That's what I thought about those creators doing that to her. If she's thinking about getting her kids,
life, yes, probably her husband's stuff, possibly, yes.
Those creators just are screwing her if she's trying to get those kids back. She's talking about harming herself.
She's not getting the kids back.
I know, but she thought that.
Is just talk. I'm not trying to be rude. That is just talk for YouTube.
Right.
There is a purpose for being at YouTube. Think about it. You get to stream all day here and Facebook. You can't do that with the news.
Right.
The news only plays 30 seconds, 40 seconds of you talking about something. They don't have time for you to babble and fall on the floor and wank around like a wet seal.
And make money. You can't make money off the news.
She's over here because she knows the audience is winded over here. You all are set through 2-3 hour lives. You wouldn't do it with the news.
Just you.
Because most of you say that. I don't watch the news. But you'll watch a YouTube video. I'm going to be honest. It is backwards.
Yep.
You don't want to watch the news and know if a fucking hurricane's coming, but you'll sit through a 3-4 hour fucking live about absolutely nothing.
That's true.
Come on now. Call a spade a spade.
That's true.
People streaming from, their house, talking about nothing, talking in circles, aiding people that kill kids.
Yep.
You won't sit through 20 minutes of a fucking news broadcast to see if a hurricane's getting ready to hit your damn town.
Yeah. You're sending clowns down there and,
Good morning, sweetie.
And running around with clowns. And
thank you, everybody, for signing. Thank you all so much. Thank you so much. Please spread it on your platforms. If you're on Twitter, Facebook, IG, please spread the petition. I made sure to have my hairstylist today.
What about the baby in the suitcase? The baby in the suitcase?
He was put in a duffel bag.
A duffel bag. Okay, wasn't there recently a baby in a suitcase?
Yes.
Yes, that's in Indiana. Yes.
Yes.
Someone. Did they ever find the identity?
Yes,
I think so. Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
They're looking for his mother as I speak.
Because I know
another female was arrested first, and they believe the mother was out west California. That's where she was last seen.
because the gentleman who found him is traumatized. I know that. Because they couldn't find who it was. And he said, I don't want to die without finding out.
Who told you Zane has a disability? Who told you that? Y'all got to stop listening to people. All the gossip you all repeat in the chat is from Billie Joe. Have y'all noticed that?
Yeah. Or shared.
Every rumor that I've heard never came from Chief Hadley.
Right.
Not one rumor.
No, he came out there, he said facts and left.
He said two things. Baby dead and the mother's the primary suspect.
Yeah.
He didn't tell you nothing about a pool, a tub, a quarry, a lake. Who threw clothes in the dumpster instead of this? Dropped the boyfriend off at the lake. He hid behind a tree. She came back, picked him up. Give me a break.
Now he's a prostitute, has a prostitute ring, and what?
Oh Lord, okay.
You know, the guy is, you know, the more he says, the worse it's going to get. He knows what his job is. Leave the guy alone. Let him do his freaking job. They want him to rush and just arrest her, and then what?
And then what? Yep. Nope.
You know, you're arrested.
I don't listen to that stuff. Everything you're hearing now is a rumor about Danny sleeping with the babysitter's daughter. See how stupid this has gotten?
Yeah.
Right.
But this is like the Wells. Listen, this is just like the Wells case. Cal C's all the same. You just keep repeating stuff, but you're repeating it from the people that killed the damn kid. That's what I don't understand some of you. Why do you keep repeating that stuff?
No, I believe
Nobody told you. Nobody sane has told you nothing.
Until Hadley says it, until Hadley tells me.
Because they don't care about that stuff. They don't care about nobody sleeping with a 15-year-old. Nobody cares about, you know, who was getting high under the, the steel magnolia tree. Nobody cares about that.
Steel magnolia tree.
You get what I'm saying?
I do.
But you get what I'm saying? You don't care about that stuff.
Yeah, there's rumors.
It's trying to find.
They have to make it sound, you know, sexy or, you know, like it has to be something sexual or which, you know.
I have autism, but I don't listen to nothing until somebody can confirm something. Other than that, I don't listen to none of that stuff because I know where it's coming from.
Yeah.
And what's autism to them could just be you ain't taught your kid how to fucking talk.
Yeah. And you're not a good mother. Sorry.
No, spend time with your kid. If you're not getting any nurturing, nobody's spending time with you. You'll walk around mumbling too, possibly.
That's right.
Yeah,
let's go after the fun of nobody with a disability, but children have to have interaction.
Yeah.
And who's the perfect scapegoat? The babysitter. What the hell did she do? Nothing. She watched her kids.
Because it's everybody else's fault.
Yeah.
Thank you all so much. Thank you all for signing the petition.
And then
but I'm not saying there couldn't be nothing wrong. Let me make that clear for somebody to think I'm being insensitive. I'm not saying there's not anything wrong with any of her children. All I'm saying is that I'm not listening at nothing these people have to say because their words means nothing to me. The children might have some disabilities.
And she's probably getting paid for it.
From them, I don't care.
And also,
they didn't spend any time with the kids.
All these people are going after the babysitter. What? Why are you going after the babysitter? She's just a babysitter. She didn't allegedly throw a baby in a garbage. What? You know, these creators I'm like, are you insane? You know, so the babysitter.
I'm not talking about any more children's stories. I'm tired of talking about kids. I already got some I've got to do updates on because I've got some cases coming up that's going to be going to trial soon. Boswell, Camille McKinney. That's enough. I'm wore out. I'm tired of talking about children. I don't like.
I'm going to jump off. I have to go.
All right. Thank you. Thanks for coming. Okay.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right, everybody. Hit the link if you have an opinion pertaining to the information relayed in this live stream. Thank you for joining me. If you'd like to donate to this great network, $BigAngie, 129 Cash App. All stickers and chats are welcome during this live. Thank you all so much for the donations. God bless all of you. Thank you so much. Yes, she would get an SSI check. Okay. Well, she might be. Who knows? She might be. Just imagine that, getting the SSI check and smoking it all up. Lord have mercy. Yeah, lockdown. That's what I was saying. I'm going to try to be rude to you, but I'm just not going to listen to anything that comes out of the mouth of people who have been narrating a story with different versions. So I'm not going to listen to nothing about nobody with autism, Down syndrome, because somebody believes that baby may have Down syndrome. And I think that came from an expert. Somebody was speaking on a news or one of these court TV or one of them shows. I don't want to quote it, misspeak, but they said the eyes were too far apart or something. But, you know, he is foreign. He has some foreign descent, you know, in his genetics. So I don't know. Thank you all for joining me. Hit the link if you want to give your opinion. I got 556 in the room. God is good. Amen. Yes, I hope they go to a wonderful family too, because it would be a tragedy to hear down the road these children got abused in a foster home or adoption. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you so much. Yes, you don't spend time with the kids. You don't hug them. You don't kiss on them. You don't rock them to sleep. A lot of kids do come out, you know, nonverbal because nobody's spending time with them. You just leave a kid in a corner, lock them in a closet, put them in a room. How are they supposed to talk if they're not interacting with anybody? Yeah, Gypsy, that's what somebody said on a, I don't know if it was court TV, but one of the panel guests had said something about his eyes being so far apart that he possibly has, wasn't Down syndrome, but I believe it was alcohol fetal syndrome. That's what it was. That was their assertion or assumption. Not saying that it's true. Oh, Lord. April lockdown. Hit the link. Yeah, Barb. Well, that's my point. See, we don't really know anything about Summer. What she taught really sound like. If somebody had uploaded some things about her speaking or mumbling something, but you don't really know if she could make a full sentence. We don't know. Well, you canceled the babysitter because you already had a dead baby. You had to come up with an excuse. You knew you didn't really want to talk to McCarter. See, everything lines up from the source's information to the queen. If you've been paying attention. All right, Linda. The baby is suspected to be killed between the hours of 11 p.m. and 2 a.m. The door is open at that house at 535 Buckhalter between the hours of 2 to 5. At 5:19, a call goes in by text to McCarter that the children are not coming. After 9, a direct call goes in via Danny's phone by Leilani Simon asking has she seen the child. McCarter goes over to the house to help find the child. She does not go in the house. They acted as if they didn't want her to help find the child. End of story. End of story. Sounds pretty good to me. Everything was meticulous and planned. You opened the door for 3 hours to make it look like an intruder came into the house. Is that not correct, Leilani Simon? Then you went and lied back down. Some point you got up, closed the door, and then comes the phone call to Diana McCarter, 5:29 a.m. Then comes the call at 9. First a text, then a call. Both, I believe, coming from Danny Youngkin's phone. And what did you tell somebody when they first came to your house to interview you about the child missing? Oh, sometimes I grab his phone when I'm walking out the door. You didn't think nobody was going to tell the queen that, but they did. The same source that's brought me all this other information that I've relayed on this network, such as last Monday, I brought to this network that they had been briefing what to do with Billie Joe Howell pertaining to charges. And on Tuesday, she was served some form of papers. I do not know what was on those papers, but my source told me the decision would be made by that Wednesday. And you all couldn't wait to come back to tell the queen, hey, they're serving their papers. That was only one day later, after I brought you content, information, that they were having a briefing pertaining to what to do with you on the family court side and legal ramifications as the custodian of the children. I have no reason to lie to any of you because in the end, I don't care anything about these people. And I have better things to do with my time than make up stories about trailer park trash. I know that they've been listening to your phone calls. And you continuously go live and talking to these people personally. So when you all sit up on a live stream and say, you know each other well, we've talked. Well, guess what? Somebody else has been listening. Did it not occur to you, Billie Joe, that they bugged your house when you let them search? There's no way in the world you could not think these people have not put out some type of devices in, near, around your home and all of your devices to hear what you've been doing, talking to. And the fact that you just still won't stop talking, crying and blubbering on a live when you already knew the baby was dead. I don't know when Leilani told you or if she told you. Maybe she didn't. You just put two and two together. Well, the kid was with her. Yeah, she did it. Either way, you have been orchestrating this farce to YouTube, and it's despicable. It's despicable. It shows that you never care for your children. You do not care for the remaining children who are now no longer in your custody. I don't give a damn about you talking about decorating rooms and painting rooms. You are not getting those kids back because you were the legal custodian who preferred to work away from the house, which shows cause that you had no intention of raising those kids. And you left those kids in the care of a person who was unfit. Now, I do not know if the Department of Human Services was in your business, and that is the reason why you changed over paperwork to yourself from her. But it's old news. It's dead in the water. You can't go back. You made the decision. And that's the end of that. And now you're sitting up on live streams crying and moaning about, I didn't know what she was going to do. And I didn't know this. Then why did you have custody if you didn't know? Foolish people talk. Foolish people talk. You knew she was unfit. That's enough. Nobody needs to write on the wall, hey, today I'm going to kill my kid and throw him in a damn dumpster. Thank you, Earth Dog. She was unfit, and that's enough. Nobody needs an illustration on how to kill a kid. You brought those kids here. You subjected your kids to God knows what. And when you went on that live last night saying, although I was doing what I was doing, I never had them in harm's way. What the hell do you mean if you're an addict, you are the harm? So long as you are getting high and you have custody of your children, you are not fit. That is the stupidest and most ignorant thing to say as a mother. I never put my children in harm's way. Well, if you didn't put them in harm's way, how the fuck did you lose them? Why don't you talk about that next time you go live with Queen OG wannabe gangster? Stop talking around in circles and get to the damn point. Hey, I lost my kids because I did this, and this. I got my kids back at this, and this age in their life. Why don't you tell us the real story and stop dicking these vulnerable people around that's green, that ain't never lived no street life, and they don't know how the game goes? You the same MF that you was when you was back doing whatever you was doing when you had your children. You ain't changed. You are the same. And you're even more diabolical because you're narrating this story of a dead kid. Leilani even has enough sense to say, I ain't saying nothing. I'll let you run it. Leilani got you right where she wants you. It probably was revenge. I know how to get her back. I'll kill that kid. She won't put me out. Kill that baby. Who's going to put out a person and their baby's missing? Yeah, you took me to court telling me to get out your house, me and my boyfriend and my kids. Oh, now you want me to pay child support? You know I'm struggling. She got your ass right where she wants you. And I told the chat a week ago, Billie Joe Howell gonna give her up one way or the other. because she can't lose to a 20-something-year-old brat baby killer. I got too much to lose, Leilani. I got a husband. I got a house. I got campers. I got cars. I got motorcycles. I got a swimming pool. I got to keep all that stuff. You know how hard it took me to get this man to get in my pocket? I've been a prostitute, a drug user, trafficking. I do this life. Yeah, you do it all right. But look at the cost. Look at the cost. See, that's old saying. What is the cost for selling of one's soul? There is no price. There is no dollar amount. As you so kindly said during that live last night, materialistic things don't matter. But funny, they were important before October 5th. I doubt that you ever posted any of those items up for sale before they put in a missing persons report of Quinton Simon. You've shown your hand. Leilani has shown her hand. And if people choose to rally behind you too, that is their prerogative. But I am not moved because I know you're kind. I deal with people like you all the damn time. That's why they always wondering, Queen don't answer her phone. Queen, she ain't on this site. She ain't on this site. I can't reach her. You can't reach me because I don't want to be reached. Because you see, when I see the signs of people that act like you and your daughter, hell no. I don't want nothing to do with you. Because see, I know how the serpent can reel you in. They'll start talking all that street talk and talking in circles, and then they start flying off the handle and think you're supposed to listen to them talk crazy. Then they call you when they foot hurt, and they in the hospital, they moaning and they groaning, and Queen don't rock like that. As soon as I smell bullshit, I'm cutting your ass off. And see, anybody with some sense that was dealing with you all would have done that with you. So I don't give a damn about the pastor, the butcher, the baker, the candlestick maker. Anybody that rocks with you, they going right down that rabbit's hole with you. And that's their choice. We all have choices. But I'm not rocking with nobody that's going to be out here fooling with children, getting high. And I tell people that if you want to get high, fine. But don't have no children. I don't care about nobody smoking crack, heroin. That's your business. That's one thing about Queen. I don't care what you do. But you're not coming around me doing it, and I don't want to hear that you got children. That's on God. Now, knock yourself out. Yes, on the live. Asking the Lord why he gave her 2 murderers for children. You said that last night. And then the creator, if you want to call her that, put the video on private. Now, Queen OG, why you put that video on private? You know Queen already got that audio on this channel. And probably everybody else in their mama. Can't take it back. Because it's already said. Can't take it back. Can't take it back. Billie Joe, I'm going to say this to you directly because I think somebody needs to tell it to you because Cher ain't got the balls to do it. You keep fucking around talking on that live. You keep spinning all them stories about Leilani. You keep talking in circles about her being a baby killer, the brother being a killer. You going to end up in the landfill. How about that? Thank you. You going to end up in the landfill. You ain't never thought about that. You've been sleeping in a house with a person that murdered a child. Premeditated, I know. And you keep flipping and flopping like a wet seal. Can't decide what side you on. You keep on. We'll be talking about Billie Joe missing. We'll be talking about Billie Joe missing. Hey, ain't anybody heard from Billie Joe Howell? She don't go live no more. She don't say nothing no more. Just keep on. You've been sleeping in the house with a murderer. She gets a pass because it was a little bitty spider she killed. Oh, she didn't kill a big grown person, so she all right. Murder's murder. You know what's interesting about a killer? Is that they talk and look just like me. I recently talked to a killer this summer when I was trying to find me another automobile. And guess what? He's now dead. Stay woke. I don't bring nothing to you without a receipt. Queen was talking to a killer. And now he's dead. Now put that on paper. And you can look him up because the TBI is currently investigating his death. Now imagine that. And they've been gossiping just like this story. Who did it? Who did it? Who did it? Everybody knows who did it, but they haven't arrested him yet. The young lady who was murdered this summer, I know of her family. Her father's killed at least 2 people. You'd never know it by looking at him. Stay woke. How you doing? My condolences. But I'm looking at a killer who's now mourning the death of their own child that was murdered. Stay woke. And somebody once told me years ago, the earth has to get it back. You can't keep going around doing wrong and think the earth won't get it back. Could it be this was retribution to this man who snuffed out 2 people, done penitentiary time, and then the Reaper came to his door and said, I gotta take a life because you stole 2 lives yourself. I got to get it back. You can't walk the earth and I don't take something that belongs to you. Could it be that the earth had to steal his child because he stole 2 lives? See, irony is something else. That's why I tell you have to be very careful what you claim, how you talk to people, how you treat people. Ride or die with folks. Them same folks you ride or die may not have your back when the Reaper comes. Whether you're a Christian, an atheist, the earth will get it back. I sat with a young lady many years ago who killed my friend's brother. It was a drug deal that went bad. She got mad because obviously the dope she bought was short, whatever the reasoning. She walked back in the house and she shot him dead. And I remember sitting next to her in the driveway of my relative's house. And I was looking at her with disdain because I felt some type of way. But then I also know that when you do things in the street, that you can get it back because you've wronged somebody, even though this is illegal activity. So I kind of straddled the fence on that. And we do that sometimes. And I listened to her talk, and she tried to give excuses for what she's done. Her life. I know I've messed up. I think because when my grandmother died, I just lost myself and just didn't care about anything, anybody. So I just got into trouble. But my right mind was saying, but you killed that man. Now, I'm not up for people shortening nobody their money or their dope. Because I know people will kill you for shortening them the money, owing the money, not bringing the money back. However, because it's a street life. And some people might say he deserved to be dead because he shot at her. You're entitled to your opinion. But it's interesting to be sitting there with a person who didn't get any time in penitentiary. And it was hard when I saw his mother on TV hollering in that courtroom because she told her right there in that courtroom, "You stole my baby." So even though he was a dope dealer, he still belonged to somebody. And sometimes we don't think of that. We just think of the wrongdoing. He was doing wrong. He shorted the girl, allegedly. I don't know, I wasn't there. But when you heard that mother scream, it made you remember that he was a human being. And sometimes it's hard to equate the two. As I said, everything's about perception. But the queen has sat with murderers because they did their time and they became free. Let's pray we don't have this happen in this case. That she will walk continuously free, she and her mother. Hit the link if you have something you'd like to say pertaining to the information in this video. Somebody contacted me today that Billie Joe was soliciting people for funeral donations before Quinton Simon was deemed dead. That is my content this evening. Yes, Robin, but you can't speak the truth because you know you're wrong. And you know there's nothing you're going to be able to say that's going to appeal to law enforcement. Because you signed your name on the dotted line when you took custody of the children. What can you say? You willingly went away to work knowing your child is unfit. You did that. Those children were collateral damage in the womb. Before they took their first breath, they were collateral damage. So if you want to aid these people, you got to sleep with that at night. That's why I keep trying to tell people, Queen sleeps good down here. You got to sleep with that. I don't. Yes, that person was in the chat, I believe, Angela. The woman was in the chat 2 weeks ago. Her daughter, who was cousins to the victim of the guy that Billie Joe's son killed. You all don't have to chat. I almost have 600 people in the chat. Feel free to hit the link. You want to give your opinion pertaining to this situation. I'll drop it again. Please sign the petition, change.org. Make them pay that money back to Chatham County. These people don't have money down there. They had to go get that money out of a children's fund, school fund, just so they could help aid this case in finding this baby boy. Do the right thing. Sign the petition, please. No more of the shenanigans. Thank you, Angela. Well, I didn't look at her as drunk. Not before he came up missing. It's before he was claimed dead. You know, it was 7 days to the date that he was claimed dead. He went missing on the 5th. The chief spoke to the news on the 12th. So before the chief even said she was a suspect and that the child was dead, she was already allegedly online or somewhere soliciting co-workers or different people for the money. Somebody told it 2 weeks into the investigation that she was soliciting people for funeral expenses and nobody had even known he was dead. I believe he was just missing at that time. What the hell do they plan to do at the funeral? There isn't a body. She is only taking out money for herself because she damn sure isn't helping the cops. Yes. The petition is on change.org under KM. Just type in Quinton Simon. You'll see it. It'll be a poster of the people at the landfill, and you'll see Quinton Simon's picture hanging up on a wall to the right. Well, Autumn, maybe somebody else has already spoken up. Maybe that Danny Youngkin has spoke. I don't know. Go to change.org, everybody, to sign the petition. Just type in his name. You'll see it. Well, Tam, they don't have no money to pay for anything pertaining to Quinton. We just wanted to spend money for hotel rooms and eat out. Let's go live. The whole family's con artists, liars, friends of theirs, also the same. I believe everyone is coming for everyone in that house. Would you say everyone in that situation? Sickening pressure to friends and they make talk. Well, action, somebody's already been talking, I believe. Already. Yes, I was the one who came up with the idea for the petition. I tried to do it while I was on live, and then I went to do it and it messed up my phone. So Kinsley ended up putting it up for me. But yes. She's got it up now. Yes, he does matter. Come on, you guys. 5:58, 1 hour and 33 minutes. It's pretty pathetic. The state gave BJ full control of them babies. She's working out of state, left them with the abusers, no charge. Yeah, it's wrong. She has to go down with her daughter because you can't give the custodian just a free pass. By law, you're responsible. You signed the papers. It's no different if right now you go adopt a baby. You bring the kids in with foster care. It's all the same. You are responsible for the children. You can't pass it off to somebody else. You can't pass it off to somebody else. I think Paul knows what happened. Well, he probably does. Yes, it's abandonment. Hello.
Hello.
Yes.
Just wanted to stop in and run the risk of saying that my heart almost hurts for Billie Joe.
Who are you?
I'm Barbara. I'm out here in Bakersfield, California.
Oh, Bakersfield, from back way out there with that drama. Lord Jesus. Okay.
Yeah, we got them little.
Your heart aches for Billie Joe for what reason, ma'am?
Well, in a day, maybe not a day, but at the end of it all, she lost a daughter, a grandson, her house, her job.
You go ahead and speak to them.
She lost her identity. She lost her hope. She doesn't have any answers. She has to make a decision. I believe she's going to make the right one in the end. I don't know that she really has a choice. If she cares at all about herself, she's going to have to tell all she knows and answer all the questions and probably stand before a grand jury and tell the truth. And she will, but it's getting her there. And I'm a faith-based person, so I'm really believing that the arrows that are coming out of her out of the pit of hell is kind of hampering her ability to rise up and tell that truth right now. I think she's really depending on Leilani to come clean, if she would, and tell it herself. And at the same time, if Leilani was able to, and I don't know that she is, she's still going to have to work out something to keep herself out of jail. So what a mess. And she's up in the middle of it. But I do feel for her. I'm estranged from all my children, and it was making hard choices.
Why? Why are you estranged from your children, ma'am?
Because I had to stand up for my grandchildren. I had to make a decision to save the health and welfare of a granddaughter that needed me.
So explain to Queen and the viewing audience, you're now sitting on a live stream telling us that your grandchildren were more important, but this woman didn't think the same. So how are you empathizing with her? Make me understand.
Because it was a death sentence. when she does step out, and she'll come, she'll have no choice. She'll come, or she'll commit suicide. She'll come, but she knows the cost. It'll be done for her.
I beg your pardon.
Well, when you do stand up and you for that grandchild, when you do stand up, the cost will come afterward. It'll be like half of the viewing audience will go, you know, you should have defended your child. Maybe not this child, but for me, the experience was, oh, you didn't defend your child, but you know, kudos for defending your grandchild. It's just, it tears everybody right down the center. It tears the family down the middle. It's something the Lord writes about in the Bible. The enemy's in the house. It's not the guy down the street. It's your very own daughter. And after you've been a mother, now you're the grandmother. Make the grand decision. And that's a tough place to be, but it's what is called on to do, is to tell the truth. And that's what she's going to have to do. I think right now she's actually waiting for all the truth. She might know a lot of it, but she would really want Leilani to tell it herself. And at the same time, this woman's probably going to jail. We're all right. She cannot.
I'm trying to be respectful to you.
Uh-huh.
I don't understand nothing you're saying to me. Because basically you're saying she needs to have a free pass for having custody of the children. Nobody told her to get custody of those kids. That was her choice.
No, I think she really tried to rise up to the occasion. I think she had nothing.
Ma'am,
she had no way to know.
Ma'am, she did not stay with the kids.
No, exactly. She couldn't. She tried to rise up to the occasion. Oh, wow. She failed miserably. She failed miserably, but she tried. She banked for 1 second that little girl would show her enough respect to do the right thing while her back was turned. That's a horrible gamble to run with a child who's a rotten brat, but that's what she did. And you're right. I do truly believe that she possibly took this child's life because she was no more than just mad at her mother. They were fighting with each other, calling the cops, doing all that, evicting, paying child support, taking custody, putting her out on the... No, she probably did rebel and take that baby away. She probably did. But it's going to be a whole lot for Billie Joe to rise up again, because she'll have to reap what she sowed, and she's got nothing coming. But in the Word of God, that's exactly, she's right where she's supposed to be. You face your demons and you're going to sow what you reaped, or reap what you sowed, excuse me. And it's her time. It's her turn. And we all get to that place where if we didn't do the best job at parenting, we better do a better job at grandparenting, and we better do a great job should we survive great grandparenting. But she has yet to rise up. But I do think she wants to, and I do think she's trying.
Yeah,
but she needs
going live on live stream, spreading lies. How's that helping a dead baby in 2 other?
It ain't. She's poisoned. But I really believe if you track with me for a second, her mind is so sick.
I can't, because just like you said, everybody got their own demons.
Yeah, and her mind is sick. Yes, her mind is sick, and she's no doubt in a drug psychosis. It would probably take her months of not using or abusing any drug or alcohol to even start to begin to think straight. And that isn't a free pass. That's just a fact. She's toxic. She's sick. Her daughter's even sicker. Yeah. Well, but they're not going to think right. She's not going to respond correctly. She's not going to do it. But the day may come. The day may come when she'll meet herself and everyone else, where she'll be like, my God, what was I thinking?
This woman is near 50 years old, ma'am.
It's terrible. It's terrible.
I don't get it. Why can't
but we're all, there's a bunch of us in society that are coming to that raise these babies up in drugs.
Let me say this, please. Maybe she don't want to come to Jesus moment. You don't know her.
Oh, I don't know that she hasn't already. I think she's just, just because you come to Jesus, don't make it rosy posy. You woke up every
Nobody's
demon
saying
from
that.
hell.
Nobody's talking about that. Nobody's talking about that.
No, that's what I'm saying.
First of all, you got to believe in him first.
Well,
so I'm not going to sit here and say who she believes in.
Well, I'm not judging her whether she believes it or not. I'm just saying there is a God and there is a devil.
Well, let me
she's in the middle of it. She's in the middle of it.
Did you work away from those kids that you took care of? Did you go leave them kids with somebody else?
Say it again.
Did you go leave your grandbabies with somebody else?
I don't guess I understand your question. Go again, one more time.
Okay, don't worry about it. Damn. I'm over it. The very reason that bitch is on YouTube right now, this type of mentality and attitude, that woman's near 50 years old or 50. Give her a rest. I'm not making no excuses for nobody. She's too old for this. What about the kids? Because the dad is one that can't speak. What about his rights? What about his feelings? What about the other two kids? Walking around, ain't eating. Let the babysitter tell it. They was always hungry. But I'm supposed to feel sorry for a motherfucker that's damn near 60 years old. I don't have to. Sitting there making up all these damn excuses. You got a dead kid that they can't even find, but I'm supposed to feel sorry for her because we all make mistakes. We're sinners. Yeah, we know we're sinners. But at some point, you're supposed to change. Damn. You can't just keep doing the same thing over and over and over and then use drugs as an excuse. Oh, well, they doped up. They high. So what? So what? She turned her back. Do you know how asinine that sounds? She turned her back. You didn't have no business having her in the house with the kids, and you knew you didn't want to take care of them. Why would you sign the papers? I gotta sit here and argue with nobody about this. It's a mute point with me. And you're sitting up here saying you're a grandmother and making excuses. So at what point is Billie Joe supposed to grow up? When she's 75? Oh, when she catches the charge and then goes to penitentiary, comes out when she's 90? Hell, half of us will be dead by then. It won't even matter. I hear this shit. $45 going on $65. If you ain't learned nothing by 45 and you have been in trouble with the law, you've lost your children, you've been an addict, you've prostituted, if you have not learned nothing, there is nothing somebody is getting ready to show you at this age. Nothing. And that is your choice. But don't come up in here making excuses for a motherfucker near 50 years old that deliberately left them children with that girl. She had her own self-serving reasons why she signed those papers. This woman was all the way up in Illinois, allegedly working. It's a wonder the whole house didn't fucking blow up. I don't want to hear this shit. I knew I wasn't going to be able to stay mild-mannered during this live. I'm done. Dear God, I can't do this. I'll be so glad. God, please let them find this baby. I don't want to talk about no more kids. I'm done with this. Right, Christina. And she got somebody grandchildren. Okay. Ooh, Jesus. Oh, exactly, Kim. Why would you get the kids when you knew you were not going to be home to watch them? And then you throw Diana McCarter under the bus. That wasn't her responsibility. You all even weren't paying her enough money to keep the kids. 3 kids for $15 a day. What can you do with that? You couldn't even pay rent with that amount of money a month. Damn. Man, this shit goes on every day with these kids. And people still just keep having them and having them and having them. Let me make this clear in this live. Everybody is not parent material. And there's nothing wrong with that. Because you're not going to know what it's like to have a kid until you have a kid. But when you realize that it's not for you, no matter what you're going through, then you pass the baton to somebody else, because a lot of us have been raised by other people. So you can't judge everybody for not raising the children, because everybody's situation is not the same. So therefore, when you do decide you want to have another child, make sure you're ready to have the child. That's it. But don't keep making them, spitting them out like Skittles, and then expecting somebody to come rescue the kid. Now you knocked up 6 months later with another baby. Now you knocked up with another baby. All your kids are under the age of 3. And 2, 3, they can't even tie their shoes. Because there are people who keep their children and they don't want their kids. And I think many of you know this from personal experience. Depending on how you were raised and how you were treated as a child, you knew your mother and father didn't want you, and they let you know they didn't want you. But nobody would dare come to their face and tell them, you know you don't want that kid. Why you got them? And they ain't about to tell nobody they don't want their damn kid. They just suck it up, treat you like shit, and roll the dice. Thank you, Angela. Oh, man. What a world. Hey, T, hit the link, T. Yeah. Everybody's not meant to be a parent. And like I said, that's okay. You have people that you meet people all the time that'll tell you with children they didn't want the children. Maybe they weren't ready. It's been hard for them to have their children, because it's hard raising children depending on your circumstances. Everybody don't have the same mentality and the same circumstances when they have children. There's people who have children and they well off, but they really don't want their kids. And you've seen the stories, taking trips to Paris and their fucking kids are locked in a house. Come back. Don't give a damn if they burnt the house down. How many times have you seen it on the news? Parents were gone. Somebody got suspicious. Went to the house, children in the house. The parents are out of the country. Not across the U.S., but out of the country. So just because you keep your kids don't mean you're fit to have them. It doesn't matter, Autumn. You're talking to yourself when you talk to these people. I'm trying to tell you, honey. You're just talking to yourself. Kristen, where are you calling from?
Tucson, Arizona.
Thank you for joining us. What do you have to say about the information I've relayed in this video, ma'am?
Okay. You are 100% right about some people just aren't capable of being parents. And
it's nothing wrong with that, because you're not going to know until you get in the job.
Exactly.
You know,
my mother came over here from Japan and got pregnant with me. My grandmother actually kicked my mother, beat my mother, trying to make her lose me.
Mm-hmm.
My mother knew that if she kept me in that situation, it would be horrible. So she gave me up for adoption.
Okay.
And I was raised by a wonderful, loving family that cared about me.
Okay.
And I appreciate that so much more, that she would do that. I'm sorry, I have rescue birds.
Thank you, nobody. You got birds?
I have rescue parrots.
Oh, honey. Look, Queen don't do well with birds. My first pet was a bird in college. And I came home from class and he was tilted over. Zebra. It was a zebra finch.
Oh my gosh.
And I had bought the bird, and I was happy to have a little animal. Even in a dorm, I probably shouldn't have had an animal in a dorm, because usually I didn't think you were supposed to have animals, but I went on and got them anyway. And I came from class one day, and honey, I saw that bird dead in that cage, and I just screamed and hollered and asked some of the girls, help me get this bird out this cage. And everybody was like, no, that's your bird. You go get your own bird out. So Queen didn't ever get birds anymore, but thank you anyway. I
just wanted to say that I respect what you're doing. I respect what you're saying.
Yeah.
And you're a smart lady.
Thank you, ma'am.
And I hope you have a great evening.
Oh, you don't have anything to say about the information that she knew that child was possibly, she had to know that he was dead to be asking people for funeral money. You don't have anything
Yeah,
to say on that?
for sure.
Okay.
For sure. And
Okay.
if she's looking to get money for the funeral, then I mean, sell your camper, sell your stuff, because you need to put that baby before yourself. If you got to move out of that big old house and move into something smaller and sell some stuff or whatever, take care of.
How about this? Kristen? How about this? How about stop canoodling with YouTubers and carry your ass back to work? How about that?
Yeah.
You were working. Look, you were working before YouTube. You were working before the baby was killed. So go back to work. Yeah. Ain't nobody put 2 and 2 together. Just go back to work.
My understanding now, again, rumors are rumors, but the rumor was that her boss felt that she was a liability.
Who told you that?
They were worried about.
Kristen?
Huh?
I'm waiting. Who told you that?
It's been all over.
Yeah, but you ain't got no receipt though.
Right, exactly. That's why I said it's a rumor, but
because more than likely that's something that bobblehead put out.
Probably.
Okay, so if the husband's been seen on the lawn and canoodling, that means he don't work either. Stay woke.
No, and Paul. What about Paul? Paul is there.
Well, but I'm talking about the adults. They're the ones paying all the bills.
Well, right, but Paul is an adult.
Is it? Because one person say 17, somebody say another age. I don't know how old the boy is.
He's an adult. Now but
listen to what I'm saying. You know damn well she's paying all the bills. She made that subtly said that last night.
Right.
She's selling everything.
Yeah.
Because if you have another adult in the house, you don't have to be selling stuff.
Right. I think somebody other than her is working in the house. And the only reason I say that is because she had 2 RVs.
Mm-hmm.
Now that house was.
Thank you, Andrea. Oh, I reached 12,000 just that quick.
Good girl.
Thank you. Go ahead. Finish.
She has. That house was still listed on Zillow, and I looked at that house. I've seen it inside and out.
Okay.
That is a $260,000 home.
Okay, I thought it was cheaper than that. Okay.
No, it's $260,000 according to Zillow. So, and if it's just going to be her and her husband, and even the one son, why do they need to have that? You know what I'm saying? Like big old house. Like somebody had to be helping her.
I don't care about them having a house because in the end, that was their house. They chose it. She allowed these people to stay up in there for whatever reason. But now these people are gone. So it's up to them. But I look at the fact that you've been engaging with these people on live streams, which showed me you didn't go to no job. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
And so I know that you're possibly not going to be making the same money through the union as doing a grievance payment. You understand what I'm saying?
Right. And, and I looked at the house and on the listing, they always say if you give a 12% down payment, whatever, your payment is going to be X amount of dollars.
Yeah.
It was $2,500 a month.
Yeah. But they make good money, so they can make that. So I'm going to say it again. Why aren't you at work?
Exactly. Even if she has to go work at McDonald's, I don't care what she does. Just, she got to do something.
Yeah.
I
think she's getting paid. She's probably getting grievance pay, but it's not the amount as if I'm doing it hourly or on a salary.
Right. Because I guess she was like an underwater welder or something, some kind of welding.
Mm-hmm.
Ella.
Well.
Ooh. So anyway, I'm going to cut down because, these birds are going crazy.
That's okay.
I got one asking me to give him a shower. I am not kidding.
Well, he need a job. Hell, talking about I want to get him a damn shower.
I know, right?
Thank you, Kristen.
All right. Bye.
All right. Bye-bye. All right, everybody. This is my mod, TZB. What do you have to say about the information that Queen brought today?
She's got a nerve.
Mm-hmm.
Like she has zero cares in the world right now.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't no way. If I was her, I would ask my coworkers this.
Mm-hmm.
Like I wouldn't ask my coworkers.
Or whoever she asked. Whoever.
Or whoever it was.
Just a worker. She probably asked different people that know her. DM people. Probably put it on Facebook and DM people. But you knew you shouldn't have done that because somebody was going to tell her that somebody did.
Yeah.
From the information that was given to me, 2 weeks into the investigation, somebody told law officials that she was begging people for money, but this was before he had even announced the child dead. So it was 7 days later when he announced the child dead.
And she
On
was
the 12th
asking
of
money
October.
for a funeral.
Exactly. That's what was told to me, baby.
And yet we're not pulling her in.
You said it.
They're not pulling her or Lilani in, knowing
It's,
this has
and
been
if you
put
got
out
that
there.
2 weeks of the investigation, yesterday made week 5, right? That he was reported missing. So you've had the information for just a few weeks. You're right. So why is she not lined up with her daughter?
Because that, I mean, right there, if that is true, is proof that she knew what had
That the baby was
happened.
dead. You knew something. You knew that he was dead.
Yeah.
No matter if he told you the truth how he died, but you knew he was dead. You knew he wasn't alive. Lord have mercy.
Yeah,
Ooh, baby, I'm done. Corey, what you doing?
What's up, Queen?
Where you calling me from?
Kingsport, Tennessee.
Yay! East
Kingsport.
Tennessee in the house.
Yeah, but I'm not really a hillbilly. I'm from
No
West
matter. Hey, how
I'm
long
from
you been
West
here?
Palm Beach, Florida.
Wait a minute, Corey. How long you been here?
How long I been in Tennessee?
Uh-huh.
This time, 4 years.
Okay. 10 years you gonna be us. You gonna be a pilgrim.
Queen, I got some thoughts on this case.
Okay.
Hey, nobody can see me, can they? I've been working.
I can see you. I see lights running around the top of the door.
It's my deck.
Oh, you got it decorated. That's nice.
Well, not everybody lives like the Wells, and
Shut up. Oh, shit.
Look, I live in Hawkins County, but I live in Kingsport. I'm on the border.
Well, listen.
Not everybody lives like the Wells.
Girl, you're a mess. What do you think about the information?
I don't want my face on, Queen.
Girl, don't nobody care nothing about you. We don't know where you at. Just quit talking and telling your business. Just tell the Queen what you think about what I said in this video, ma'am.
I'm going to tell you one thing, what I think about this case.
Yeah, but no, tell me about the information. She knew the baby was dead before the chief announced him dead.
You know damn well she knew.
Well, shut your mouth.
Leilani is her spawn. This wannabe mother / grandma.
Oh, Lord,
I mean, Queen, come on. It's documented. She did 9 years in prison. She had 4 children.
Okay.
She was away from her children for 9 years.
Okay.
Who raised Leilani and the other children?
Yeah, somebody said a sister in the chat. I don't know if that's true or not.
I don't care. I don't care who it was. They're all.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Yeah.
It is a generational thing.
Yeah.
They are all.
Thank you.
It stems from alcohol, child neglect, child abuse, drug issues, multiple trips to prison.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. I have a heart attack when I had a speeding ticket. These people don't think like normal people.
Yeah.
And my problem is, so much.
Deborah, that's a good point. She wanted everybody out of the house, so what were you going to do with the kids? We've asked that question back in the beginning of this story. You're trying to put everybody out, put her on child support. Well, it didn't make no sense, and you're the custodian. So what were you going to do, go take your name off the paperwork? You couldn't because you asked for child support. So that's fraud. That's blatant fraud.
I'm going to tell you what somebody...
And nobody dwells, and y'all don't dwell on that. That was fraud. As soon as she walked into court and filed those papers to put them out and the child support, because she knew damn well she was not going to be in town to take care of those kids. And there's no way McCarter was going to be able to keep those kids around the clock all day long and night. Come on, you guys. Stay woke.
It was not the babysitter's place. The babysitter was getting a lousy $15 a day. And even when the 4-month-old baby girl was born, and the only reason that Billie Ho didn't have custody of that child is because Danny was in the picture.
Yeah, because Danny was there, exactly. Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you something else. I've been Googling and about Georgia in certain states. They have been since COVID. still getting stimulus payments.
Yeah,
for
yeah. Every state's
households
different.
with
Yeah,
children.
California's gotten some too. If you're older, they're supposed to be putting out new stimulus for people that's 62 or 65 older.
Okay, with Billie Ho and her husband, I don't even want to mention him. I feel like he's just collateral damage. I feel like she just found him, used him. I don't think they've been together that long. I haven't researched it that much.
Well, all you have to do is use math. 3 kids, 3
Yeah.
baby daddies. The oldest is 3.
Yes.
You carry a baby for damn near 9 months, so you can use deduction. That none
And
of the
I don't believe
relationships
any
will
of
end
those
it.
toys, the cars, the antique cars. I
Yeah.
believe on the hives. I'm not even gonna call her a queen because the only queen I know is you.
Oh, thank you so much.
Well, it's the truth. I mean, I'm straight up. It's the truth. Okay, on her live, or no, it was on Cher's live. Whenever they were, yeah, it was on the horse's live.
Yeah.
Pushing that cash app around that screen. Oh my
Yeah.
God, it was such a turnoff to me. And I believe she stated that it was a 1953 vehicle.
Yeah. I went to it last night. Yeah.
Okay, now, I'm a car person. I love vehicles.
I know, because I've been looking at this older car in this movie the other night, and I thought, shoot, I'm about to go back to the days
I saw one in Churchill yesterday.
car.
I had to call my daughter and say, please don't let me do it, because it's not even something that's, it's not like a 1957 Chevy.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's neither here nor there. But what I'm telling you is that Billie Ho, when she took custody of those children,
Hey, Christina,
of the grandchildren, she is legally
right?
responsible for those kids.
Yeah.
Obviously, they were not supposed to be in Lailanie's care.
Yeah.
And from a grandmother that had custody of her granddaughter from the age of 1 to the age of almost 6, because my daughter, unfortunately, was on drugs. I gave up my home in North Myrtle Beach with my husband that I'd been with for 13 years. I'd raised both of my 2 children. I have a son and a daughter. And she called me 5 days before my granddaughter was supposed to be born and said, I didn't get a call from her. It was from jail.
Mm-hmm.
And anyway, a grandmother does not do that. I went to Colorado. I went to Virginia Beach. I went everywhere to avoid my
Somebody
daughter.
said she had custody of a baby Q at 5 months. Oh, I really should check that. Well, I don't know. But you can just use deduction under the age of 3. That is a question I've wondered, is when did she actually get custody of both of the boys? Because they're 3 and barely 2 at the time.
Well, Queen, the thing is, you've raised your children. If you raised them right, you can't help when your children leave the house what they do.
No, I'm not, and we know this. We know that nobody has control over what their parents do, and nobody has control over what their children do.
I drove an 8-hour round trip after working a 16-hour shift at work, because my daughter was living in Kingsport, but she got pulled over and arrested in Virginia, in Gate City, and Gate City, Virginia. And I don't understand this. They ran a background check on me. They did all this, and then when I just went and picked her up, my granddaughter, and I had her for almost 6 years. She was my daughter was allowed 2 hours, 2 times a week for 2 years. Half the time she wouldn't show, and half the time she would. I never left my granddaughter out of my sight, because my daughter, when she was on drugs and not doing good, she would bring unsavory people that I didn't even want to know where I was living, And it took my daughter going to jail for 8 months, me cutting off ties. I didn't give her a dime.
Angela, behave.
For a candy bar, a piece of popcorn, anything.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's not about me. But what I'm telling you, this is not how you do things when you take custody of a grandchild.
Mm-hmm.
When you take custody of a grandchild, you give up your whole life. you start from brand new, like you're the mother of that child. But basically, all I wanted to say, Queen, is I love your channel. I watched you and AB this morning. I was asleep in my bed.
I was trying to finish mine today before I went out for my errands. And I was sitting here laughing because I turned my speaker on. I'm sure my neighbors be thinking like, oh, that noise. But honey, I be in here having a good time by myself listening to my lives, because that's some of the stuff I do in my lives. I'm sitting here. I forget that it's me when I'm listening.
I want you to look at these leaves.
Okay, come on.
I need
Tennessee, baby.
Queen.
Come on.
I needed to be working, but I did an Instacart order because it's going to rain tomorrow.
Well, show me what you're showing me.
Oh, the leaves. I didn't get my work done because of you. I guess I'm going to be out.
Put your headphones on, good.
Who, me?
Put your headphones on, good. Let TZ talk because she's been waiting a minute. Come on, T, bring it to me.
I just think it's bullshit. And I think that
let's get straight to the point.
I mean, point blank, I just think it's bullshit. And they need to go on and bring Dumb and Dumber in.
Yeah, Dumb and Dumber. Girl, I can't. Dumb and Dumber.
I mean, if they want to, fly on out to Canada, pull up on Cher, bring her on back.
I hope they bring that baby horse in. Bring her in. Bring a she in.
You know, I mean,
look, I might even put some money on the commissary books. I will call down there directly.
I mean, I got 2 pennies.
Listen, you got who in custody? Oh, yeah, Queen sending her some money. That's the first time I will donate to a baby horse.
I mean, she's getting too close.
Thank you all so much for the love. Thank you. Thank you all for following the content.
I just think it's a sad situation. Neither one of them care about Quinton. And they
or the other two, yeah. Because I was telling people, forget about the other two, because they're living. They matter too.
Now, if by chance, and I really highly doubt it, but if BJ does get the other two, then they need to investigate the social workers and the DCS.
Yeah, but see, that's going to be an issue because you know those people rarely come up and be cited for any wrongdoing. These Department of Human Services workers.
Well, it's past time for those departments to be investigated. There's too many kids losing their lives at the hands of caregivers.
Yeah, it's
too many.
It needs to stop.
And I'm sorry, or well, we didn't know. It doesn't cut, and it don't bring back the little ones that lose their lives.
Yeah, I know.
You know, so.
Well, you can see that BJ she gets hype because on that live last night when the girls kept over talking and kept saying, you know, oh, we're praying for you, you know, kept tooting around. She got mad and said, "Let me talk, let me talk." And I said, "Yeah, I know. That's the real BJ right there. You want to be center of attention and start that wailing and blubbering and falling out like a wet seal, man. You have no shame at all, none whatsoever."
No, and then that's when she spilled the beans, or not even spilling the beans. She just told the truth. Nice.
Yeah, let me talk. Let me talk. I said, look at this heifer here. She done found her audience. She act like she on, you know, Star Search or something.
Yeah. Yeah. So
thank you, Christina.
Let's see what else has went down.
Well, that's the information I got today. Is that somebody called 2 weeks into the investigation to say she was begging people online and different places for money. I believe she called a co-worker. She contacted somebody asking for help. And the thing is, the child wasn't even, the man hadn't even said the boy was dead yet. That's cold, man. That's cold.
Well, she could have had a little something if she had not ran up a tab at a bar.
Well, like I told you, that's probably a lot of people that was eating. You know, they might have put their money in a pot on that trip. I'm not gonna say that Billie Joe spent $300 on everybody, but the point is, you're public, you're loud, you're being seen. You shouldn't want to draw attention to yourself. Y'all could have went and rented an Airbnb or a hotel room and hooped it up and ordered food.
They could have
Nobody
just
would have
kept their
known.
asses at home.
Nobody would have known. Say what, baby?
They could have just kept their asses at home.
Well, they wouldn't say it at home, baby. You remember they were protesting.
Right, but the energy don't match. If you're on the news saying that they hope that someone has Quinton and all this stuff, you telling me you ain't gonna be at home hoping that those said people would bring him back?
Well, I know he did, T. Think about it.
I know, but you know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying,
being
but you gotta
sarcastic.
remember what you're dealing with. Some people that don't care about nothing, and they just really just talking on the news for innocent people that's out there listening, thinking, "Oh, I feel sorry for her." You understand what I'm saying? All that shit for the roost.
No, I'm sorry. I can't feel sorry for Billie Joe. I really
I can't either. That's why when that lady was up here, I had to let that go because I'm not going to sit here and listen to that. Because when you get to a certain age, you're supposed to try to live by example. You can't sit up and act like you didn't have no part in this. You should have never signed the paper. She could have had her life with her husband, doing her own thing. And then Leilani lived where she did with her boyfriend. And whatever she did, that's on her.
Right. Yeah.
Because in the end, let's be truthful. Let's really break it down. Just imagine had Leilani lived on her own and the baby went missing. Billie Joe, when you gonna come and pick up them kids and take them in, the 2 remaining ones? I'll wait. Then who was gonna pick up the slack when you brought them 2 in? Diana McCarter? Yeah, okay.
But how long has she had that job?
I don't know.
BJ, Billie Joe.
I don't know.
Because
I don't know.
I mean, if she's had this job all along.
Oh my God. XO, please stop. Yeah, well, that's what we're leaning towards, that this was some type of even exchange for having all those people living in her house. I won't doubt that she probably was filing them on her taxes, the children, or even the adults, because people do put adults on their taxes too.
Okay. Well, Barb said apparently she's had her job for 9 months. She chose a job that she knew she shouldn't have took. Then Barb, she could have took a different job where it worked within her husband's schedule and her schedule and still be with the kids.
That's why it's fraud. You willingly took those kids, probably because we don't even know the date that she signed the paperwork for the children.
Right.
But I got a feeling all this was fraudulently done for some reason. She had no intention of raising those children. And all this bullshit about she wanted to give her daughter another chance. You took them for a reason. So that is contradictory of taking them in. You can't say, oh, she took them in to give her daughter another chance when she left them.
Right.
That don't even make no sense what you're saying. You had to know if something popped off, you would be the responsible person. Y'all talking about that horse's teeth. Y'all are killing me in the chat. Oh, Lord.
That was all I wanted to say. Oh, and
thank you.
You know, I ain't gonna lie. I felt myself getting a little heated hearing the whole, well, she deserves a chance. And I agree with you. And you said it before I could even type it. Where was Quinton's chance? Where was his chance?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, well, we need to be nice. Why should we be nice when they wasn't even nice to their own family?
For a minute. I gotta redo my title because I done put deceased up there 2 times. Keep talking.
I mean, that's the only thing that irritates me is I don't understand why people are just like, no, we need to be nice to them and all this shit.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they need to go protest because that really didn't do anything. But I am saying, why not be sticking up and holding them accountable for what happened to the child? The child's the victim. Quinton is the victim. Not Billie Joe and not Leilani. They were grown-ass people.
Yeah. I don't think I can do it right now.
Well, so that's how I feel about that. And as far as being a grandmama, Billie Joe wasn't a grandmama. Grandmamas don't do that shit. They don't.
Yeah.
They don't act the way that she's acting.
Right.
And it is the truth. If she was a grandmama, nothing would have happened to that boy, period.
Right.
Nothing. So I cannot be like poor, pitiful Billie Joe. And that's just me. And I feel like my grandmama used to say, damn the bullshit. They need to go ahead and pick them up, put them in the box. Enough's enough. Enough's enough. But that's all I have to say. It really is.
It's bad.
It really is. It honestly really is. And
it's just like some of these people don't even realize these are kids you're talking about.
Yeah.
Like they don't even matter.
Mm-mm. And that's something I don't understand. How can you not? It's like you said, some parents don't want to be just that. They don't want to be parents.
Yeah. But like I said, you're not going to know until you get in that position.
I don't think I would ever be in that kind of position.
Well, you know what I'm saying? You can get a kid and think you wanted the baby, or maybe you didn't. You changed your mind. I'm just saying you can have all kind of emotions. Mm-hmm. But what I'm saying is you don't know until you're in the position with the child. Because there might be some people who actually wanted a kid, but when they got in it, it wasn't for them. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
You're not going to really know until you're actually in there, raising the kid, dealing with the kid. And then it depends on what you're going through at the time. You know, you could have been left and no money and husband leave you, boyfriend leave you, and you're sitting here scared. You don't got no friends. You ain't got no family. So everybody's situation is different.
Right.
Because there are a lot of people.
That is true. Everybody's situations is different.
Yeah, a lot of people may have started out really wanting a kid. Brooke Shields said that she wanted a kid until she got in it and she started having postpartum. She was judged. Who was that? Tom Cruise talking about she shouldn't have been medicating herself. Dude, did you ever have a kid? How do you know what it's like if you never had a kid?
Right.
Nobody asked to wake up and have postpartum depression.
Right.
And she had everything that the average person could want, but that ain't got nothing to do with her mental state.
That's true. I still don't understand though.
Yeah, everybody's talking. I'm just saying, you just really don't know what people are going through while having kids.
Yeah, and I understand that.
Yeah.
I've had friends and family members.
Because there are a lot of people tell you now they wish they didn't have no kids and got kids.
But did they kill them?
Well, as far as I know, they're still.
Did they just throw them?
Saying.
You know what I mean? Did they throw their children away like they're trash and then wait?
I know what you're saying.
That's my thing. There's women out here that would love to have children and can't. And then there's women that just dispose their children for real like garbage.
See, I don't like this just having the kids and then giving them up to people. That's where I have a problem. You know you didn't want the first one. So why are you still having them? That's strange to me.
Some women like having babies but don't want them.
Okay, I have to read
the whole feeling pregnant and the pregnancy glow and all that stuff. But as far as taking care of them, no.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You can't say high and drunk with a pool in the backyard with little children. And that's something I noticed too. She always loved going live on that TikTok, right? Taking pictures and stuff. So remember I told you all about the video where she's sitting in a chair and Quinton is in the baby gate looking down. He ain't got no shirt on. I think he got either Pampers on or a bottom shorts. Okay, he's looking like a little sad puppy looking through the gate. But yet the 3-year-old's outside blowing bubbles. What's wrong with that picture? See what I'm saying?
He was an outcast. Yeah, an outsider from the beginning.
Now let's fast forward. Another picture I saw last week. She's holding a camera up, same area outside where they sit on that back patio. The 3-year-old is walking alongside the fucking swimming pool. What the fuck? A 3-year-old?
Oh no.
See, she let that 3-year-old roam, but they locked that little Quinton up. I put that together the first time I saw that baby in the baby gate. And the 3-year-old was out blowing bubbles, but the 2-year-old's locked up behind the baby gate. I said, they've been keeping that boy caged up. So if he has any type of antisocial skills, I guess so. Ain't nobody communicating with you. Ain't nobody playing with you. Damn. See, you can learn a lot watching them videos and people live streams and pictures. They tell a story. Damn.
Yeah. Favoritism from jump.
Mm-hmm. And then you ask yourself that too. Cruel as it is, why did you choose Quinton? You had 2 other children. Why you choose that baby to kill?
Right.
Mm-hmm. Well, Tammy, they probably didn't know who she was. They didn't do no background check. She probably reached out to them. They don't always check people out before they let them come on programs to speak. It's just like the news. If the neighbor decides to tell you something about, they don't do a background check on you to do ask you what happened in the neighborhood. Because, you know, the one neighbor that spoke about Quinton, they didn't show her face. They just panned the camera to the ground because she didn't want to be seen. But you can best believe Billie Joe know who you are. Okay. My birth mother had 9 kids, gave all away. Then married a widower, had 6 little kids. She raised them all. See, that's what I'm saying. People do weird things, strange things. 9 kids to get rid of, that's a lot. And then go have 6. I ain't never heard of no mess like that. Now, I've heard of somebody giving up about 3 or 4, and then they kept the last one they had. But people were stunned when she kept the last one because it was like, damn, you done got rid of everyone you got. It ain't like you gave her 1 for adoption. You know what I'm saying? You done gave up everyone. Then the last one you have late in life, you keep that one. Why? And people gonna question you. That's what people do. Yes, that's true. People can change. But, you know, people still gonna judge you. Because 9, that's a lot of kids to give up. Come on now. That's 9 times you were pregnant and didn't keep 1. That's a lot.
Yeah. Oh, it's raining. I gotta get out there and bring my dog in.
Yeah, target 1. Yeah, we know she probably didn't favor that one. Okay, T, thank you for joining.
All right, thank you. All right, bye.
Right, have a good evening, baby. Okay, bye-bye. All right, everybody. I'm under 600 viewers. Thank you all so much for joining me. Just leave the door. Oh my God, just leave the door open so babies can play in the road. Well, they didn't care. Like I said, I believe Quinton was locked behind the baby gate often. I think he stayed in the playpen often. I don't think he had adequate clothes, shoes. I think she let him run around with a pamper on all the time. You see that a lot with a lot of young mothers. They let their children run around in just pampers, no shoes, no clothes, no onesie. It makes no sense to me because you can find clothes cheap anywhere. And if you can get high and get drunk, smoke marijuana, drugs, you can buy your kids some clothes. I don't care if you're getting them from the damn Goodwill. It's no excuse for this. It's no excuse. It's no excuse. Vinny should know Cher was once talking to Don Wells just like Billie Ho. What does that tell you? I don't know, XO. You all have to write Vinny and tell him, did you know who you had on your on the show being interviewed by that black reporter? Okay, Tam says he knew who she was. He may have. But I think it's interesting she didn't put up that she was a YouTuber. I found that very interesting. Yes, busy road, yes. Well, it doesn't really matter where you live. So long as a child is out in the street, underage, and a toddler is definitely underage, anything can happen to a child. They can get hit by a car. They can get run over by, a work truck coming down the road. They could run and fall in a ditch, can't get up, bump their head, hit their head on a rock. I mean, a multitude of things can happen when children are unattended. I mean, you see bigger children getting hurt. You see bigger children getting kidnapped, seduced by adults and other children. So anything can happen when your eye is not on your child. It's just the way it is. He knows Molly speaks to him and told him so. He knows now. Okay, Andrea. It's just sad. It's pathetic because I don't like using the word sad. But this is what happens in true crime A lot of the stories are eerily similar. It doesn't matter if it's California, New York, Georgia, Tennessee. The gist of the story is that these people had no business having children. They continue to have children after children after children. They continue to adopt children, continue to take in foster children. All the stories are the same. They're not fit. They've lied, pretended, made people think they wanted kids. And then next thing you know, you've got missing children, beat up children, bruised up children, starving children. It's all the same. Missing children. They don't care. And I don't care if they're black. I don't care if they're Hispanic. I don't care if they're foreign. All the stories are the same. And that's what people need to understand about this. All these stories are eerily similar. You start hearing all these whack stories about kids being left alone, unattended. DHS was involved. Yet you can't get a receipt to DHS because they won't tell you if they were involved in the case. That's to protect the rights of the children and the people who are being accused. So you go on off of he said, she said. But nonetheless, you start seeing things in pictures and photographs, such as what you saw with Summer. She looked unkempt. Her brothers looked unkempt. You looked at the state of the house. They were stupid enough to let that McKenna guy, whatever his name is, come up in their house. I would have never let those people come in my house and saw my house looking like that. I would have never let those people come up in my house, knowing my house was unkempt, knowing my babies didn't even have sheets, covers on the bed. Boys sleeping in an open room adjacent to the kitchen with facing the door. So if they were changing in their undergarments or night clothes, anybody could just swing the door open. Just ridiculous. But this is how they wanted to live. And this is what I tell people. Just because you see one story of people living in a rundown apartment, trailer, house, that doesn't mean that other people in that area live like that. And I definitely didn't want people to think we live like that here in East Tennessee, because we don't. There's people that live back up in the holler. They have beautiful homes. They have custom built houses, cabins. They don't live like that. They got running water. They've got sewer running. They got a bathroom and a shower and a tub. They got Wi-Fi. They got cable. They got food in the refrigerator. They got a stove. They got electric. The kids aren't running around bare feet without no bloomers on and just walking around in just a diaper. That's how somebody else lives. And it doesn't mean anything, no matter where, if it's New York or Tennessee, it's all the same. If somebody chooses to live like that, that's how they choose to live. That does not mean other people live like that. Yes, Tennessee is a beautiful place. This is a very inexpensive place to live. That's why people come here from all over the world, not just America. People come here from foreign countries to live because of the mountains, because they don't have to worry about hurricanes. They don't have to worry about floods. That's why they move here. Because we don't have the issues that people have in flatlands and at the bottom states. We get a little bit of flooding, but it's nowhere near the magnitude as what will happen, down in Georgia and Florida when it rains, Alabama, Mississippi, all the flatlands. But this is a very beautiful place. And frankly, America is beautiful. There are lots of places that are pretty in America. You really don't have to go out of the country to appreciate beauty. And as you see in this story, somebody didn't even make it to 2 to enjoy life. And that's what I want you to think about. 20 months old, didn't even get a chance. 20 months, 22 months old. He didn't even get a chance to grow up, to go to pre-K kindergarten. He didn't get to make any friends. Yeah, lockdown, please stop. So you kill your wife because you were abused by her? Yeah, okay. He learned the narcissism from his mother. His mother's a crackpot. I watched her in those interview tapes of her visiting him in prison. She's wicked. Anybody that'll tell their son, I don't care what you did. He killed your grandbabies. What you mean? So that just shows you how sick people are. Then you wonder why the people are sick, because they come from sick parents, some of them. talking about the record player was jumping during the memorial, whatever they had for the child at church. Oh, she was messing with the record player. I know that was her. Oh, you mean the little her that your son killed? That her? And you're telling this to the murderer through a glass. Those are the most disturbing tapes. Please check them out in the YouTube queue. The Chris Watts tapes. Thank you. Thank you so much for the donation. Thank you, sweetie. To hear a mother talk about a dead child messing with a record player during a memorial service, when your son is sitting across from you and he's the one that killed the kids and the wife, plus the unborn child, it is the most disgusting and baffling thing. It's no different than this mess we're talking about here, that these people are so oblivious to their role and they're coddling and enabling these killers. It is unbelievable. And as the person who was up here talking from California, I do not agree with you. Because all you kept saying was the same things that Billie Joe was saying. I, me. Never once in this conversation, when you was up on my live stream, did you say a damn thing about Quinton Simon or his siblings. Everything was about her, them, what they've been through, what they're going through, their own drugs. Who cares? A child comes here, they don't give a fuck that you want to get high. They don't care that you don't like them, don't love them. They're just a kid. And the whole time you sat up here, that's all you kept saying. Them. Nothing about the kids, their feelings. As if at 2 months, a 2-year-old, a 3-year-old don't got no damn feelings. Like a child can't sense that their mom and daddy don't care for them, don't want to spend time with them. Grandmama too busy puffing and huffing on cigarettes, ain't paying no mind. Don't care if your ass run off and fall off in the swimming pool and drown. But yet you raising your kids. And you want to come up here on my live and make all these excuses for these people and use drugs as an excuse. Well, tell that to that dead baby in the landfill. Maybe he'll hear you. Hey, Quinton, I'm sorry you're dead, but hey, your mom was getting high. Your grandmama was still getting high. Sorry, not sorry. Hey, little kid, sorry you're in foster care, but hey, your mom's an addict. Grandma's still an addict. Sorry, not sorry. How's that beneficial to the children? Because one's dead. These people were grown adults and made choices in their life. And nobody told them to do this. I'm all the way invested. You worry about your damn self. I got almost 2,000 videos in my library. More than any YouTuber up here that sits up here and talk and cry and moan. So do your homework when you come in this chat. Do your homework when you come in this chat. I got 1,700 plus videos before Quinton Simon. Checkmate. I talk about what I want to talk about. And Quinton Simon isn't my only subject. So when you come in this playhouse, make sure you do your homework while you sit up telling me what the fuck you check for in my library. Well, scroll your ass back 3 years ago, since you scrolling. And see if these other YouTubers can top almost 2,000 videos. You ain't getting no clout over here. I don't play with kids. Don't worry about what I'm invested in. I bet you one thing. I can sleep good at night. How about that? Thank you, Corey. No, because that's the whole point. I didn't build this channel off no views and likes. I built this channel one subscriber at a time. And even when I was at the point where I could be monetized, I didn't monetize my videos because I didn't care at the time to monetize. This is a business here, whether you like it or not. And if you want to come complain to me, then you carry your ass and send a note to YouTube, because he who owns it gets 30% of mine. He just allows us to use the platform. But in the end, YouTube makes money off the commercials and people advertising. So you can get off your high horse like you coming in here trying to tell me about me. You don't even know me from a can of paint. And I bet you one damn thing, can't nobody in this surrounding area tell you I run around and harass people for a news story. I bet you that. I bet you that. I don't stay in people's inboxes harassing people. I don't know, owe nobody no explanation. Thank you, sweetie. Why does somebody need to go live 3 times a day? If I go live, I can talk about 3 different topics in one day. I talk about what I want to talk about. Hey, you don't pay no bills over here. But I tell you what, since you like meddling, you can come and pay this fucking light bill that keeps this electricity running to play this fucking computer. How about that? That's what you can pay for, since you know me. See, you're not supposed to entertain clowns, because that's what they want. 5 minutes of your time, you quipping back and forth. I ain't worried about you, because guess what? When I shut this computer off, I'm going right back in that queen size bed and lay up like a fat cat and watch my Wi-Fi the way I want to. How about that? Now go run tell that. I ain't on the ground messing and harassing folks for a view and a like. I ain't got no Amazon wish list. But I tell you what, since you in my business, why don't you put me a Range Rover outside my damn door? I don't mind. Think I like to get my nails done this week. I got my hair cut today, so shit, why not get my toes and my nails done? You all up in my Kool-Aid. My money don't go to the dope dealer. How about that? My money don't go to the dope dealer. People have asked me that, why you don't get a lot of views? I like your content. Because I don't do what other YouTubers do. That's why. And that's okay. Because I have other things on my plate. More important things for me to be concerned with. It is what it is. They either watch the content or they don't. They subscribe, they don't. The world ain't going to come to an end because somebody don't subscribe to everyday shenanigans. It's just a YouTube channel. It ain't nothing that serious. Thank you all so much. God knows I thank you for following the content. Thank you so, so very much. Yes, because I do something a lot of people don't do. They don't read nothing to you. All they do is talk. They listen to what somebody else said on their channel, and then they just repeat back what they said. I actually read from the news. You entitled to interpret it as you see fit. I don't have to do all of that. Because really, it's taking up my time. But somebody's going to come in the chat and ask a question about the story. So if I don't read the article, that's where I get more information. Because the news clip on a news video, that's like 3 minutes. They don't tell you everything in 3 minutes about the story. So that's why I read the content. So in case somebody says, well, what about this? And somebody coming, well, I heard this. Because there's always some combating going on with these true crime stories. But what I tell everybody is that every news agent does not get the same information. I've brought you several content pertaining to Quinton Simon that each one will have a different story, especially with Debbie Collier. Each article about her has something different in it. I would call in, but you scare me, and nobody scares me. Well, Mama Bear, I'm the least of your worries. Trust me. I just don't put up with junk. That's all. Thank you, Tam. I'm going to cut it here because I don't want these videos to get any longer than they have been. But I thank you all for following the content. I may come back on later because I do want to talk about this Amanda business with Debbie Collier's daughter. She has spoken out, and I need to hurry up and get that information out. It's a couple of days old. So I'll come back on to talk about that because I'd like to hear what she has to say. What version narrative she's spinning. I will be back. I'll go ahead and tell you, Queen went to the hair salon and got her some bangs. I got me some bangs cut today. I said, honey, I'm going to go back and try to look like Pippi Longstocking. Hell, why not? You only live once. Thank you all. Thank you all so much. But like, share, subscribe, pass the information along. Tell me what you think in the comment section about this new information that somebody decided to go to law officials 2 weeks into the investigation to tell them that Billie Joe was circling around trying to get funeral donations for Quinton Simon before he was pronounced deceased by Chief Hadley. And I agree with some of you in the chat who say it's got to end. They need to bring her in. As my mom said, she should have been brought in when you've got the information that she was circling the globe trying to get donations. And we're going to ask that question to Billie Joe before I check out of here. Miss Howell, why would you be asking for funeral donations when the child wasn't even pronounced dead? That means you knew he was dead before the 12th. So now we got to ask question number 2. When did you find out that Quinton Simon was dead? Before you got home to Savannah, Georgia, or after you landed and walked in the house? And what did she tell you about the death of Quinton Simon? Did she tell you the truth, how the baby died? Did she own that she killed the baby? Did she make up a cockamamie story that the baby had an accident? She panicked. She dumped him in the dumpster. What do you know? Because the chat members are saying you mentioned the landfill before that was mentioned by Chief Hadley. I don't watch your content on Cher's channel, so I don't bank on nothing you have said to that horse up there. Because if I want to get a My Pony doll, I'll go to Walmart and buy me one. When did you find out about the death of Quinton Simon? What day? Before you landed in Savannah or when you got here? And what did she tell you? Thank you, Powder Puff. Thank you so much. Thank you all for joining me. See, Billie Joe, the one thing you don't seem to understand is you thought YouTube would be your savior, but it's going to be the cause of your demise because you talk too much. And you've allowed that horse up in Canada to pimp you out in exchange for you pimping her out to sway the jury. But the only thing you two are going to end up doing is sitting in the rabbit's hole together, trying to figure out how you're going to get out of there. And I think all of you know they have been dumping their devices and checking their messages, Googling. So you're stupid to talk to Billie Joe Howell and Leilani Simon. And I got information a week ago that they've gone back months into you all's devices to see who the hell you've been talking to and what you've been talking to and what you've been Googling. Months. So now we have to ask that question. Why is authorities looking into your databases from months ago? Think about that. Thank you for following the content. God bless all of you. Stay safe. Happy weekend to all of you. I'll try to get on a little bit later, let you all kind of chill and rest. And then we'll come back and talk about Amanda and see what it is she has to tell the public pertaining to Debbie Collier. Did the police get it right that it was an accident or a suicide of her mother, or are they not qualified to determine the manner of death? Because what's going to be sad is if we later find out they had it right the first time and Debbie Collier was murdered. I don't know. Too many inconsistencies with the story. And my one thing that puzzles me about this case is the daughter being the mouthpiece of everything. That's troublesome. It's kind of a Billie Joe syndrome, if you get my drift. Usually the one that does the most talking has something to hide. If you go back to the Debbie Collier story, it was Amanda doing all the version talking about the credit cards, the purse, the driver license, the hit and run accident, or the accident, with the guy with the paint can. The fact she puts herself at the scene of the dollar store. Why the hell would you be up there? Stay woke. Teresa, it's a game, sweetheart. It's a dirty game. And sadly, pathetically, Quinton Simon was the biggest loser. It is what it is. Thank you for joining me. This is Everyday Shenanigans.